I believe we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe we are live. We are live. As live as one can be. What a joyous day. It's been some time. We have spent some time away from one another. I believe 3 days. 3 days to kind of adjust my my sleep cycle a bit, which has been kind of sporadic and all over the place. Which also, how's the audio so far? I think the audio might need to be a hair louder because I think I manipulated the wrong. I think I might have been playing around with the wrong setting. Either way, we'll adjust it during stream as need be. And one second. Let me so yeah. Though that gave me some time to kind of adjust my i3 setting. So, yeah, we have a little winter theme going on right now. We got a nice little winter theme going on for ourselves. And let me check something real quick. Also, be right back. 1 second, guys. Alright, we're back now. Yo, what's up, DJ Scratch? No, Stretch, not Scratch. So, things to do today. I've taken a little bit of break to kind of. I've been having this biphasic sleep cycle for a long while now, and I've had to actually undo that and make it a monophasic sleep cycle. Every now and where there's like different. Most times people have a monophasic sleep cycle. That just means that you sleep one time during the day, and that's just kind of how it works for you. That's how most of the world does things. I've been doing a biphasic sleep cycle, which has been very good for me because it means that after work I sleep and I have that sleep, and then it helps me disconnect, and then when I wake up I am focused on just the things I want to do here, and then I can go back to sleep, and it's very focused on the different mode for each session of being awake. But having to go back to a monophasic sleep cycle has been kind of an issue, a problem, let's say. But I've gone through the adjustment period. Hey from Atlanta, good to see you, Jazzy Net. Hello from the Midwest. Hope everything's going good in Atlanta. How many lines of code is a working game? It depends. There's no line of code. Lines of code is a very meaningless metric. 1 second, there's a lot of pings happening right now. What's going on here? Oh, Sasha did some stuff too? I have to check that in a bit. Let me mute things a little bit though. Hello, what's going on? Epic Strug, good to see you. Hey, what's going on, TS? Good to see ya. Yeah, we're back, Sasha. We're back, Sasha. Back with a new i3 theme, new vibes, a new sleep schedule. So we're back to normie conform to society sleep schedules. It's kind of tragic, but you know what? Sometimes you got to do it. You got to interface with society sometimes, so you gotta have your sleep schedule. And with that being said, I've had some time while transitioning back to my normal sleep schedule to kind of think about this game, things that need to be done. Also, Terrell, who's often in chat, he goes by SFM2. He got back with me with some test assets, so we can actually swap out the assets we're currently using in the game, and instead use some of the assets I commissioned or contracted from him, just to kind of start testing things out. And then maybe I'll get back to him, and then we'll see how it looks, how it performs. Maybe we might have to do some changes, maybe we don't. We'll see. Antika, hey from India. Today is my university exam, first year Betch CSE. Wish me good luck on your exam. That must be quite a stressful thing. I don't miss it, having to go through exams, but good luck to you, man. I had a dilemma and had to choose between hors or vert stream. Oh, horizontal or vert stream. Yeah, it's a sticky situation to have to deal with, but regardless of where you are, I'm just glad to have you here. So I'm going to start closing some stuff here because I don't think we need it. And if we need it, we can always bring it back. And we have a writer. We have the scene where we last left off. Today we're going to be actually doing the thing. We're going to do the thing, guys. We're going to actually do the UI that I've been talking about doing. You know how I always say we're going to do the UI, and then I never do it? Today is going to be different. Also, Morgan, good to see you. Hello, y'all. It is good to see you. Both vertical and horizontal streams have their own vibes. It's crazy how like a different aspect ratio changes the vibe of things too. Anywho, so last time we were just setting up the garage. And I have a new idea in mind for how we're going to go about it, which means that the code I wrote for the original design for the garage is going to be thrown out. But I think the resultant thing is going to be even cooler. Even cooler. So I'm just going to... Here's the agenda for today. Here's the agenda. So I'm going to talk about new UI design for garage/shop. In fact, this doesn't have to be indented. Then after we talk about the new design, we're going to take a look at Terrell's work. So, oh dude, contracted, because he's a contractor, guys. He's Cozy Cabin Games officially contracted him. Contracted work. And then we're going to implement UI. This can totally spiral. This could totally spiral because I'm going to put it in and it's going to make me think about things, and it's going to make me probably start going into different things about like maybe potential workflows for him and me as far as assets are concerned, potential how the board manager is going to stitch things together, potentially even some like object pooling, so you can just have one of these things exist and then like we can just move them around, because it's going to be kind of there's a lot going on there. And there might be even additional like some optimizations, such as like, hey, maybe we shouldn't draw the things that are facing away from the camera or be occluded by the cylinder. So optimization / disable occluded geometry. And then like there's an additional thing of like the shader. So we have a triplanar shader material, but now we're gonna have to do like a cylinder coordinate system, cylinder based triplanar. So that's gonna be a whole thing we could talk about. So already just by looking at this, all these different things come to my mind. We're gonna try really hard not to do this. I think we either have to front load this or back load it into the stream. Like either we do this here at the very back of the stream, or we have our dessert early, look at this now, maybe think about what we're gonna do here, and then move on to the UI for the garage. Anyways, let me catch up in chat real quick. Turns out the Bird Game 3 guy is a huge Viber cow. Help him debug. Oh my goodness. Debug is very human netcode. That's goofy. Taco Bell is in corporate infrastructure. I don't know. I think there's better things I'd want. First of all, if I had the ability to hack, I'm not sure if I would target Taco Bell. Maybe to bring back some like, I don't know, discontinued Baja Blast flavors, but I don't know. Also, I'm glad for you, Game Dev Sasha. Yes, I'm too goated. Can you or can you not make 128-bit encryption for John Travolta? What does that mean? Wait, what do you mean for John Travolta? The F for making a game. What's going on, Epic Sandstorm? Good to see you. So yeah, day 10 of making a game in 3 weeks. Thank you, Morgan. That's actually a way better description than just making a game, because I guess I'm always making a game except when I'm not, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, day 10. By the way, it's not like an IRL time. I only consider days whenever I'm streaming the development of the game. So like, in actuality, I'm kind of dealing with less time than 3 weeks, because I try not to do any development off stream. If I do, it's very minor. And you see the Git logs in Discord. I really don't do any development when I'm not streaming. So I only have the time while I'm streaming to do work, and that constitutes kind of a day in my mind. Unless I stream like maybe twice a day, but that's probably never gonna happen. So yeah, anyways, it's kind of a little stressful. We kind of need to make a game happen here. But yeah, I think I want to look at his assets today before we move on to the UI things. Though I'm very excited about this. So let's actually do the thing and go to Discordo. Excuse me. I would like to. Oh, there's some websites that let me do the GT thing to switch between them, and some that don't, and it makes me frustrated. It really does make me frustrated. Here we go. Actually, maybe let's not dox the man's Discord. We're just gonna download it. Yeah, continue to download the zip file. Okay, cool. And it's called Rough Draft Deliverables. On reaching daily goals, I'm not sure. I mean, I really don't do daily goals. I just kind of start working on something, and then we either make it happen or we don't. And either way, I think when you're writing software, it's kind of easy breezy. You just kind of force your will upon the silicon. That's cool and fun. What's not fun is like dealing with bugs. Actually, it's not even bugs, because bugs is one thing. It's not fun dealing with, let's say, a bug that happens out on the field, and all you get is like a very minor stack trace, if at all, and then trying to reverse engineer and replicate the problem that the user encountered, and then doing a bunch of things trying to get that. That's not as fun. But writing software and designing and implementing the design you have in your brain, that is fun. Okay, so what was it called? Something deliverables. Should be in D. That's DaVinci Resolve. What was it called again? Rough drafts. That's gonna be in the R's actually. rough drafts. Here we go. Yoink. We're gonna go into projects. We're gonna go into fight and flight. We're gonna go into assets. We could just like throw it in here, but I think we're gonna try to be a little bit more responsible. Are we gonna be responsible? Are we gonna be responsible? What are we gonna do? I forgot what's the thing to do shell commands? There we go. S. Make dir. Actually, we already have a level assets thing. What am I talking about? Yeah, levels. Perfect. Now I paste it here, and there should be rough draft. And then we can do, I forgot, R maybe? Yep, and we do option 1. And then cool, we have our rough drafts right here in this folder. And we should have base. Let's just throw it into the test level and see what happens. The thinking sand requires magic touch. That's great, K8. Ravanitas, bro, is reading chats on a Cry TV. Yep. A CRT. Well, actually, no, I'm reading chat on a normal TV, a normie one. Cowboy up, brother. Boy, howdy. Yippee-ki-yay. Can't stay up late tonight. Mr. Boss wants me on site. I got a PC to build apparently, so I have a nice stream, everyone. You have a good one, Sasha. I was glad to have you here. I'm glad to have had you here. Yeah, again. You gotta organize it. No one organizes their download folder. Your download folders are not meant to be organized. They're meant to be a trash bin of just random things from random people. Like, that's the order that is in life. If you organize it, that's just forbidden. That's just no bueno. That's against the rules. So let's see what we got here. So we got a couple things. Let's go into the scene actually. So we have, I hope the cylinder is oriented about origin. I'm going to assume it is, but you never know. 6 selected assets with 14 warnings. Yay, warnings. Let's see here. The model convert units. Actually, no, I think it was correct actually to have convert units on. Okay. So this is base. In fact, let me just disable my current one, my placeholder. So we have a base 1 here, and then we have base 2. Wait, wait a second. This one has stuff on it. Wait, what? One second. I thought I was seeing stuff. Are the normals? Oh, it's on the back side. Okay. Let's keep looking at this. What do we got going on here? Okay, there's some objects here. And I also asked everything to be in separate material slots. Let me make sure I see the material slots there. And I'm not seeing the material slots. Higher number, come on. Hey, here we go. Now we're talking. So those are the base prefabs, but here's actual like stuff with cities or some architecture. This is a rough draft as well. Just a preview to see if we actually like how this looks. Nice. Let's just start with this actually. Let me get rid of these for right now. So there's like empty templates, and then let's place this one here and see how it looks in game. Let me move this forward. And maybe throw in our material as well while we're at it. Because I believe I have some material here that uses our system, our lighting model system. Actually, which one are you? Scroll material. Yeah, I'm just going to use scroll material for right now. Let's just see what we got going on here. Let's see if this idea I had makes any sense. All right, let me catch up in chat too real quick. Use NN instead of Ranger. It's much faster. Why NN? Play war games? War games. I want to play it. It's not. We're getting there. We're halfway there. Hey, Anuska. Yeah, vertical. Of course. Of course. Your voice is calmer today. Thank you. Well, I've relaxed a bit. I think taking these 3 days to kind of mellow out, rest a little bit, has been very good for me. I've needed to do that. I think part of it, like, I think it's like been multi-pronged. Oh, it's like, let me make sure I'm not seeing the, oh, okay, that's why. So is there sub-meshes here? Yes, there's sub-meshes, okay. So here we go, we're gonna use scroll material. Scroll material. Okay, and then we see the shadows that are casted from them. Cool. That's pretty nuts. It actually feels like night and day. Like it's actually, oh, this is the nighttime of the thing, and then slowly becomes daytime, and that's pretty cool. I might make this bigger. This like yeah, I think I might make the radius of this larger. The player would be much closer to the camera, and then we can have this sense of scale feel a bit more. I don't know. Yeah, this is cool so far. We should probably do a few of them to see how it stacks up. Like even with my jank shadow map, this works pretty good. This works pretty good. Like the low res shadow map, this works pretty good still, despite that. Oh, let me catch up though. I bet y'all get the I just seen it. What does that mean? Would you say you're in a good workflow state? As far as like as a single developer, as far as code is concerned, I feel great. Assets, we're gonna find that out. We're figuring out how the asset pipeline is gonna look like, at least for the levels, the background assets. This is like the first look at assets. So we're gonna see what kind of workflow we do. I have a couple of ideas in mind, especially since we're not like doing PBR materials with like a lot of different properties on them. We just have a basic ambient and albedo thing going on, so it allows me some flexibility. So we're doing like a thing where we have multiple material shelves. I don't know, it changes. It depends on how important optimization becomes as far as all this mesh topology goes. But we're gonna have to perf it. I think we're just gonna do the naive thing and then perf it later. Do a profiling and see if the costs are currently acceptable, and if they're not acceptable, what needs to be changed. Because then that's going to change how I want to have assets produced. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure I said, yeah, here we go. Mesh renderer, materials, scroll. There we go. Like Helson. Oh yeah, no, I hate having to use the mouse. So when I'm like in code mode, it's fantastic. Cause like I'm just like in the operating system, I can do the things I need to. Unity is the biggest pain point in my whole process. It really is. Well, what can you do? Yeah, I want to play around with the scale a little bit more. And maybe this light is a little too bright. Also, I'm going to change the player's sprite a little bit, because I think it's a little too, it has a little bit too much of a emissive to it. I don't like that. So this is cozy surface. No, I'm looking for the FN. That's a standard surface. Or is it the one with sprites? Oh, I think this is a sprite one. Yeah, sprite fragment. And what are we doing? The color composite here. Shadow. Process. Yeah, here we go. We're doing like a 0.5 between like this and the ideal color. We actually want this to be more close to, or maybe completely, so that the player sprite better reflects. Yeah, you see how the player sprite now is actually getting affected by the shadows from the environment. Yeah, that's very nice. It's great and sad at the same time. What's great and sad? I'm gonna catch up with chat. Proceeds to read one chat message. I'm sorry, Anuska. I'm sorry. Peak Supreme Leader energy. Supreme Leader it sometimes gets wrapped up in the sauce. What can I say? TSC said, y'all know where everything is like. It's a bedroom and y'all have to look for something 30 minutes. So I said it must be. I can't find it often. Yeah, I'm using a modern PC. Fake fizz. But yeah, no, like having your OS the way you want it to, it feels fantastic. Like my day job is in Windows and it's painful. Like Windows, the inefficiency of Windows is so painful. And I come back to this, I'm like, oh, it feels good again. This is what it feels like to have Peak. To just be able to go where I want to be able to navigate files the way I want to. And even then, this is not perfect, but this is like the closest to perfect I could probably achieve. And then not to mention like the different workspaces. I mean, I know Windows has workspaces, but it's a whole different ballgame. It's not the same thing. It's not the same sport, man. It's not the same sport. Man. Well, sometimes I look for my phone with a flashlight of my phone and my friend replied, oh, where was it? That happens. Making a game? If yes, do you have a crypto? Nope. I mean, because I can help donate some money. No, I'm good. No, I really don't do any donations at all. Like, even for stream, it's tempting at times, but I think I prefer things to be a transaction. Even if it means, hey, here's this game. May not be the best game, but you got to see it get made. And, you know, there's $1. Not that there's anything wrong with like monetizing streams or whatnot, but I don't know. I just prefer have it be something you receive. Okay. So far, that's the assets we have, though, and then I'm gonna. Is there any more assets here? So you had base number 1, 2, 3, and then you have higher number 1, number 2. I wonder if he's kind of preventing not putting that much because he's scared of too many vertices. I should let him know to be aggressive with it. Like the individual elements I want to be low poly, but as far as density of objects, I want it to be pretty high. And if there needs to be optimizations to make it work good on mobile, then that's my problem that I need to fix. You know, granted that I'm hoping that the other stuff is easy or simple, but and what is this one? So this is a low version. So this is actually, okay, you know what? I'm gonna show the DMs real quick because he actually had a really cool breakdown of some of the assets here. So let me move this over real quick so you guys may see. I mean, it's not like our DMs or anything special, but here we go. So he has like this asset set he made for this. And then we have different bases for the pillars. So there's one that's high, or one that's like high, and then one that's low, and then there's a transition from low to high, which is kind of cool because then we can have things like oceans or ponds or whatever, just a lot of possibilities, interesting terrains that can be added onto there. And then there's other different types of like architecture that we can have there, and even like roads and things like that. So there's some considerations that come with this, especially if we're going to have like a bunch of objects. On the one hand, high frequency topology can be bad because you can have like a lot of not only vertices and things that need to be, or faces that need to be rendered. There's also a high possibility for vertices, like not even a high possibility, a guarantee that there's going to be a bunch of it you're not going to be seeing. That being said, and that's bad because you're wasting time drawing things that are going to be occluded, so that's just a waste. But the good thing is that if we have them as individual objects, which it seems that that's how he's doing it, which is perfect, then that means that we can do a little, some basic optimizations. I'm not sure how good this is going to be, but there's an idea I have where if the player's right here and they can see everything here and then everything in the back that they can't see, we can have the objects that are actually visible to the player be rendered and enabled, and then have everything that isn't, like on the backside, be not rendered, disabled. And we can constantly check to see where the player is relative to this, and then kind of enable and disable the individual elements that don't need to be drawn. Maybe that's worth it, maybe it's not. We have to profile to see if A, this is an issue in the first place, and B, if it is an issue, is it one that warrants doing this? The beauty of this is that we're using Android, which means it supports native burst stuff, so I'm not sure if we actually need to do a burst thing here. I don't know, there's like different ways of trying to solve this. I'm trying to do like an occlusion culling thing here. There's some other ways you can go about it instead of like enabling and disabling components. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We just need it perfect, because maybe it's not even a problem at all, and we could just leave it as is, and we only just, because it's only one segment we're ever showing at any given time, so it's not the end of the world. And then it's just a matter of yeah. So maybe it's that's a concern from later, but yeah, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Let me throw this in here though, because I want to see how this looks alongside everything else. And I'm going to reduce the sunlight because it's a bit too bright, and we're losing some of the information from this. And position there. There we go. So it should be aligned properly now. You can move this like that. And then here we can do this. And then we can do that. And then I'm going to catch up in chat right now, guys. We're going to catch up in chat right now. Just as soon as... Is the normals flipped on this? No, maybe something's. I have a low resolution shadow map. That's probably it. Okay, 1 second, guys. So let's see here. Is any problem to find a job for game developments in your country? I can't really speak about that because I don't really work in game development. That's not trash. I know, right? Deer in the wild. That's pretty nice. Occlusion culling. Yep. A form of occlusion culling. You might have noticed that we did that in Messy Mansion. There's a dev update in the Discord a while back, a long while back actually, where we did that very thing just in a very different way. And there's different ways you can do it too. Like there's ways to even have it be done in the GPU, though I'm not sure that's at our disposal here. I don't know. Let's go to dev update. I have to post something in the dev update. It's been a while since we posted in the Discord. But where's the occlusion culling thing? Here we go. So like, yeah, here's the example. You have an eye, you have objects, and then there's things that are behind that aren't going to be visible to the viewer, but the way we do things, they're going to be rendered. And we're going to be using the CPU to kind of figure out, okay, what things don't we not want to render? Like these objects, for example, and we're going to disable their renderers and have them not be visible so we don't waste time with that. Maybe I'll still implement that at some level. Or if we decide to take control over over the actual direct rendering of these things instead of letting the component do it, then we can potentially do some things there, but like maybe have like some, I don't know. There's different possibilities, especially now that burst jobs are on the table, but we'll deal with that later. And yeah, and you see the example here where it's like for Messy Mansion, we had some like rooms you don't want to have visible, right? So instead of rendering all these yellow boxes, we instead render the box you're currently in and the one you're looking at, because that's what's visible. And everything else here is not visible until the player's looking at it and it's, you know, visible and should be rendered. So that's like one simple form of occlusion culling. So we might be able to just do something very simple like that as well, especially since our context is very focused. Oh, here's the Discord. I gotcha. If you manage to read the chat this generation, I got you, Anuska. I've thought about doing a music stream. We might have to do one for the game. We'll see. Also, oh my goodness, we got France. Welcome, Sparkles. Glad to have you here. So yeah, there's different considerations with this. Let's see how crazy Terrell goes with. Let's see how crazy he goes with this. Anyways, we have this in here now. I'm gonna reduce the light. Let's go to our lights real quick, and because we have our light model, there's some things you have to directly configure, like how strong, how big the resolution for the texture map is going to be. I'm going to bump it up for right now, and then compute and save. Yeah, because I don't want to have constantly calculated, and then we're going to lower the intensity a bit because I think it's a little too bright. Okay, maybe that's a little too, yeah. Yeah, 0.17 looks better. Okay, compute and save. Okay, we have a higher res texture resolution. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. I need to up the whole health thing, just so I don't die instantly, because that seems very bad. But yeah, I'm actually very digging this. I think I want to make these internal things a little bit bigger as well. I'm gonna get rid of the shadow as well, because we're gonna be baking the light map. Or maybe have like different preset ones. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. What's the way we want to go about doing this? But yeah, I think I might make these bigger. I gotta say, he like Terrell, like jeez, man, he actually got the assignment down. Like the scale and the orientation for everything in object space is perfect. Like this, largely was just a slop in, like a slotted into the game and it just works type deal, which is very nice. Very, very nice. Kudos to my boy, the man. Okay, put like that. So let's see how this feels at a bigger scale. Also, oh my goodness, what's going on in Discord? What's going on here? Hello, Sparkles. Also, what's up, Chicobe? Glad to have you. As well as, what is this? Ari? There we go. Welcome, y'all. Make yourselves at home. Make yourselves cozy. And with that, back here, what do we got going on here? I'm gonna have to put myself on. I don't want to miss notifications, but at the same time, I you know what? I want to change my Discord sound to be the AOL sound. Okay, so this is cooler having this be at this scale. The only issue is that now the environment's actually kind of they could interact with the player, which might be cool. Like having skyscrapers like these have hurt boxes, so if you hit them, that also counts as like damage. But no, but at this, the scale is too small. If that were the case. So if we want to make this feel like you're far away and this is still pretty big, we'd have to increase the density of this significantly. Oh my god, 1 second. What's going on here? Alright, I'm gonna mute this for right now. 1 second. I appreciate you guys joining though, thanks. I don't know why this... Is that the star from Braid? Or am I just tripping? Maybe I'm just tripping. Great game, by the way. Yeah, tiny monitor is not that bad. And here's the thing, right? Like, I think I can only work like this because of i3 and Linux. Like at my work computer with Windows, I have to have 3 monitors to do the things I want to do. Okay, we're not going to do more with this right now. We're going to come back at this later because this is going to be a lot of looking and just finagling and then writing up some feedback. Let's go to the garage though. And let's talk about the design I have in mind for the garage. So let's go here. Let's move this out. And let me move this back a little bit. So I'm actually gonna be changing the idea. So we were talking about making this level UI be very diegetic, meaning kind of baked into the world. So instead of dealing with abstract 2D menus, you're actually dealing with a real scenario. So the idea I have for your consideration of the Midnight Council is that we have this room as the main menu. This room that's enclosed or something. Maybe there's some stairs here or something. And then over here, that's like the one wall. Maybe that's a floor or something. This is not great. We're just working with this. Just work with me here, okay? We're trying our best right now. And maybe here there's like a little door or a garage door thing. And then down here is where the bike actually lives. And there's like a little elevator or something and then some kind of screen here. And then over here you have like two main like buttons. I'm not sure where they're gonna live, but they're gonna live somewhere. It's either gonna be here or down here or on the side. But you have a button that says like play, one that says shop or garage, and they do different things. When you press play, this moves up, you go out, right? But if you press the shop, the camera is going to change orientation to zoom in over here, and instead you're going to be presented with like this view of like the CRT screen here that's going to display the actual stats and display whatever parts you're looking at of your build. It's going to have like two buttons, one for toggling up, down, and then a button here for selecting stuff, and then a set of other buttons here for what category you're working with. So maybe like this is for the hull, this is for the engine, whatever. And then over here, you'd actually see the view of your bike. But this is gonna be cool because it's like, all right, it's actually in the physical world that we presented to the player. Like, there's no abstract UI that pops up. It's, oh, we're just going and looking at the actual, we're taking a different look within this space that the player seemingly lives in. I kind of always like that kind of thing because it makes it feel like the world persists outside of your, like, just, it's like the world continuously exists, and every time you open up the game, you're just peering into it. And there's other things I kind of want to do where like you have like a window here maybe, and we take, because there's easy ways to get access to system time, right? So you can see, hey, what season is it? If it's summer, it's gonna be green and blue skies. If it's fall, maybe there's some leaves falling down. If it's winter, maybe it's snowing. Maybe a Christmas tree even pops up here, and it just feels like the world's like living and doing its own thing. But anyways, that's besides the point. And maybe even have like a day cycle too, where it's like, hey, your current day and time is reflected here. Like it's a little simple. It's not crazy, but I think little details like that go a long way. But anyways, you go into this HD view of your machine, and you can see all the different components you have on there, the brakes or whatever. And this is how you're gonna be navigating with the shop. The shop is actually gonna be just like this physical screen that your character is going into, and then it's gonna be simple. Where we have like the icon here, we're gonna have the name there, and then if there's like a curve of some sort, like if we're talking about the engine, then there's the curve that's gonna be displayed there, and then as well as any additional stats that are pertinent to it, displayed right there. So it's actually kind of a simpler implementation in one sense, because instead of having to implement or instantiate a bunch of different objects, which by the way, we already implemented this, so we're gonna have to scrap that. But instead of implementing a bunch of cards that pop up and then there's like the scroll wheel thing, I think this is cooler because it's like you're actually physically interacting with an object in the world. And then all of a sudden, like adding these sounds, like maybe in the sound effects that we talked about last time of just like these little button sounds. It's just gonna make more sense having this physicality in the world. Though I'm not going to do the console like that. I'm going to make it a little bit more. But yeah, you get the idea. So before we start implementing this, let me catch up in chat. Full meta now. Inside the in-game universe. Exactly, Syshalt. What's up, Strophim? I don't mean to alarm you, but your bike is a shark. Diegesis. No, not my bike being a shark. We need more diegetic menus in this world, honestly, TS. Medieval games have been bustling lately, like Half Sword. I have not heard of that. Maybe I should give it a try. Was amazing. Oh, dude, I have not played Kingdom Come Deliverance, but every single clip I see from the game is just top notch, and it makes me want to play it. I wonder if this would actually work on this year. I mean, we played a bunch of other AAA games on here, and it worked fine. at least I have. I bet it would work actually. What a rule. You can call it Joust and name your company Atari. Of game making, the planning, doing HUD and storyboard planning is so fun. It takes time to White. Like this is the second iteration. I had something else in mind that was a bit easier, I guess, kind of easier. And we even like implemented it. Like we have the code here. I think if I could find it. I think it's called Shop View. Shop View. Yeah, here we implemented like we fully implemented this other type of system, but I think this is cooler. So I'm just gonna get rid of this one. I think we're just gonna get rid of this one, because yeah, sure, you only have 3 weeks to make a game, and we're kind of like a third of the way, or past a third of the way there. But also, like, we do this for fun because we're making something cool. Why compromise on cool? Why compromise on cool? But yeah, so that's the idea here. So let's just start with the basic level flow, and we'll go from there. And I think we even started. We had like the basic idea in terms of the layout. And I think last time we were working on the garage view, which to my recollection already should kind of work with this idea of having different camera positions. Where we have like the game can be in 3 different states. It's either general, zoomed out, and then there's shop, and then there's play. The one thing about the play that I'm a little bit about is that when you press play, I want it to just be like a go type of deal. And I guess this can be fast. I guess it'd be fast. I don't think it would take that much time to have like the cart go back up. Like the player jump onto the cart and then the cart go up and then out. I don't think it should be that bad. Anyways, so, but yeah, we have this. We have this message for going back. We have these different states it can be in. And we're setting up these buttons for either going, and these are gonna be abstract buttons. It's fine. That's like the only abstract element we're gonna deal with here, so I'll live with that. So we can add behavior for these things. So it's all gonna be kind of the same. There's play, on point click as observable, subscribe, and then what do? I think I might make a general function for like go to state, especially since this is gonna be very simple. What's it called? Garage states. Go to, and then we're going to do a switch statement between where we're currently at and where we're going to. I kind of hate doing nested switch statements, but it is what it is. Actually, we're not doing nested switch statements. It's gonna be very simple. Like if you're in general, then going to actually, no, we do have to do like a nested type thing. So let's say we're going from general to general. That's not valid. We shouldn't do that. So we can just return, I guess, because that's not a valid state transition to go through. But if you're going from general to play, then that's fine. If you're going from general to shop, that's allowed and perfectly fine. So I guess we can have this be just, hey, we're gonna catch all the invalid states and early return. And then, yeah, this is like actually much more simpler than I would have thought to. Let me catch up in chat too. Makes you sad. I'm currently trying to dial in some mega bonk style movement. Ended up ripping ECS out of the project because I discovered animation is a nightmare in ECS. Oh my goodness. It's like doing the scriptable object brains for states so you can just swap them out and defer state interfaces. That's wild, dude. Like Warframe 1999. That's funny you say that because we've been playing Warframe, not 1999. But thank you. Oof. I've gone and scrapped hours of code to your hurts. Oh yeah. I think we were talking about that in the Discord at some point because Sasha was dealing with the thing, and yeah, it's like that happens in life, you know. Even professionally, there's times I've implemented entire things for like weeks or even months. Maybe not months, but weeks, and it's like, oh, GG. Requirements change or something, so we can't do that. Not allowed. Go to player. You know what? Actually, we're gonna do something different. Instead of having this police state, I think what we're gonna do instead. Actually, yeah, I didn't have to delete this. Let's get rid of this. We're gonna assume that this is an authoritative go-to statement. We're saying like, hey, we already checked, it's good to go. Just go to this state, and then we'll call whatever desired function. Or maybe that's even dumb. I don't know. Void open garage. Yeah, ECS for your projects, Strophim. Out of curiosity, what prompted that in the first place? Like, do you have like a high instance thing you're dealing with, or something that's very performance intensive? Open garage. I keep typing player by accident. So that's like the two things we could do is, and then just go back. So with go back, and we have a naming clash here, so we have to change these to be like so we have go back, we have open garage, we have play level, and then go back is going to do its specific thing, where no matter what, current state is going to be equal to garage. Actually, no. Yeah, general. We might have more things too. Like, I want to have like a credits thing. You know, it could be cool if you have like a board, like you know those boards where you pin stuff to, or a whiteboard even, and it can have like the credits on there, and we just zoom in there instead. That'd be cool, actually. Anywho, so we have these camera control targets. We're gonna have the camera lerp to those places. We could just lerp, maybe. There's different ways of going about it, though. Corkboard, there we go. Thank you, Strophim. Isn't the end of the world. I just die with the game. So my goal is to make a game with a sort of short, simple loop, so I can get an MVP ASAP, and then iterate until I either get a job or have to start DoorDash. And gotcha. I need to do a game of Pokemon. Any ideas for Pokemon? I'm not sure, man. There's a wide possibility of things that one could recommend. A Baby 10, yeah, Baby 10. I haven't played Warframe in a while. Dude, I'm like, I want to get this game done in 3 weeks already. I just want to get this game done already. I like making games, but I just want to get this done so all my time is not focused on just making this thing, and I can instead just no life either Warframe or maybe RuneScape or maybe Project Zomboid. Also, Christmas is coming up soon. I want to do another community game day thing. I'm thinking about either doing Minecraft or Project Zomboid or something. Let me know in the Discord if there's any preferences or other games that might be worth playing. Thank you, Clash Gore. I'm glad you dig the room. I was doing a school project in Pygame, isometric bullet hell style game, had insane memory leak issues, yeah, so I had to redesign most of the game. Josh, jeez. No, I'm not going to use Claude code. Here's the AI, my AI stance, if it loads. But yeah, we don't do that here. Anyways, I was thinking about, like, because I've implemented camera movement stuff a bunch. Kingdom Come to Deliverance 2, you wouldn't regret it. Oh, that's actually... Yeah, we did talk about that at the top of the stream, too. That would be fun to try out. It'd be fun to stream it on this. So, I don't know, we're just going to use the camera controller the way I have it implemented, and then I'll think about potential reworks to it. I'm so mad. I had, like, this vision for, like, this camera controller or implementation that's different from the one I currently have, and then I just never wrote it down or did anything with it. It was like a day or two ago, but I mean, it is what it is, right? I guess when I get to working on it, I'll... Yeah, my terminology's all over the place. This is general, this is shop, like, what? Yeah, no, we're just gonna go... We're gonna rename this to be more reasonable. Honestly, we don't even need to have a state for this. See, like, this is called players. What is going on here, dude? What is going on, man? Okay, now we have this. So we on play button. We're gonna do... Oh my goodness, I'm so used to another keyboard. Going back to this one is so weird. Okay. Go to state. This state thing is stupid. This whole state machine thing I was doing, maybe it's reactive, it's fine, but it's like we know what we're doing specifically. I'm opening the garage. Actually, just whatever. So this one's called play. And I have to call it explicitly because and then why are you mad? Play level. And then we're gonna yoink this. And now it's gonna be yeah, call a shop button. Of course. Of course. No, we're changing this. Yeah, RuneScape was another thing I was thinking about, because RuneScape is a game I always, when I was young, I really wanted to play it, but my family didn't have Wi-Fi, and I tried hacking my neighbor's Wi-Fi to be able to play RuneScape, but I just never could. No amount of Googling did that for me. So I feel like playing that would be like a nice, oh, I get to experience something I didn't experience when I was a kid type thing. But I'm not sure if I'm going to have the same kind of nostalgic... Most likely I'm not going to have the same nostalgic thing that people have. But it's alright. But yeah, it'd be kind of fun to try that out. We have this message broker thing, but I'm not sure there's anything else that's going to be listening for that. Actually, no, there's going to be things that listen for that. So we have to do I have it here? Do we cache the message broker at all? No, we don't. Borker, I keep typing that up in the code. And then okay, we can go down here and I can emit a message for dot publish, and then we have to provide the type information, which is m underscore go back. A simple application message. Sweet. Okay. This works for me so far. And then, yeah, I think we're gonna have the shop view somewhere. If I can find it. And then we're gonna start playing around with camera movement. So actually, let's do that too. So now we have, when we let's say the garage, we're gonna do the camera controller. Set targets, and the look direction is always gonna be vector 3 forward, and the camera position is not going to be that. Instead, it's going to be, what is it? Cam shot target. Again, not happy with the naming, but it is what it is. All right, let me catch on chat real quick. From any point in the code. Oh yeah, that's super fun. Quite familiar. That's the one thing that like I kind of miss when I go to just raw normal Vim mode. I guess you could kind of do it in Vim, but it's more involved. Writer's fun. Got back into RuneScape this week, Mr. Ubister. It's fun to play on your phone. I couldn't play it as a kid either. Oh. So now that you play it as an adult, or at least as someone who's not a kid, presumably, are you enjoying it, or is it something like, oh, maybe I missed the train on this? What genre? It's like it's not endless, but it's like a racing, side-scrolling cylinder racing game, 2.5D sprites. It's a weird thing. Hola, what's up, KPX Tracer? And we're gonna do this. Easy. Goodbye. Done him with his impeding. Nah, get out of here, dude. Get out of here with that. Yeah, it's annoying. Every stream that pops up too, there's all these AI doomers who come in. It's like, what's the point? Like, why are we even, like, why even do that? Like, on so many different fronts, but we're not gonna do that. Nah, it's C#. We're doing C# right now. And you're not stupid, you're ass, man. That's how you learn. So anyways, so we have this camera. So we're setting the target for the camera controller. So this is going to move the camera to whatever position we have in the world. So, and then if we press the back button, we're going to reset this back to, instead of cam shot targets, we cam like general target. And then we're gonna change this from like general. I think we're gonna change it to be something like I don't like this name. I'm gonna make these names a bit more specific. Maybe not specific, but make more sense intuitively. Yeah, I don't want these tags. Shop target. This should be garage, but whatever. I'm fine with this for right now. No, we came this far refactoring. Why not? Don't add. So let's go back to the level and let's actually start seeing if this movement happens. We're also going to start setting up the UI for the home, garage, and then back button and see if things work. Doomy AI is knocking on the door. Nah, get out of here, dog. Like, here's the thing, like, this channel isn't even about, like, I'm just a dude making a game, showing the process, and kind of documenting the whole process from start to finish of making the game, hopefully, right? So I don't get why, like, I just don't even understand it. Like, it's not even about, like, it's not like I'm scared, nor is it like that I feel insecure about that. It's just like where's the cross, like, what's the goal with this? Because, like, it's clearly the stream is not about talking about this stuff, and yet they always want to make the conversation about AI, and it's like, get out of here with that, dude. I've already talked about this extensively. I have, like, all this other stuff. It's very, like, dumb. And it's usually, like, the most unqualified people. Okay, we're gonna stop talking about it. We're just gonna stop talking about it. I'm just gonna work on the game. Let's be productive. Let's get stuff done. Let's just get things done, man. Let's be productive. So I have a UI canvas here, right? And we had a button. That's your play button. I misspelled it, but you know, whatever. I can't see actually this resolution. Yeah, I didn't type the right thing. There we go. So we got a play button. Let's make it bigger as well. Let's actually change the text to play. And 80, something obnoxiously big. And we're gonna move this up a little bit like this. And then we're gonna move this down as well. We're gonna get rid of this component I have here, because I think I have a component for going to different states, I believe. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not that. No, I do. It's subscribe to this button. Perfect. And then we can have like the garage button. And we can have in this garage button, we have, where is the view here? Yeah, so you have to actually have this, no, we don't have the state there. So it's either, yeah, garage views right here, perfect. So we can throw this, oh. Gotta make these guys private or public, right? There we go. Cool. Give you who are prime examples of the Dunning-Kruger effect confidence. Oh yeah, for sure, Cornelius, 100%. What's up, car lover? Car lover. Can we simply respect this? Yeah, honestly, man. Let's go button. Within the IDE, it's generally controlled by the styles within your code editor of choice. Yeah. I'm not sure who you're talking to about that. But yeah, I'm using a writer. What's going on, Vinish? Oh yeah. There's like a, I forgot what it is. There's like a help command with the other commands on there. But I think it's like IDE or tool or something. Command bot, like a Nightbot. There's some commands just don't work though for some reason. It's not my fault. It's command. It's Nightbots. It is what it is though. But yeah, it's writer. Anyways, so we have. So this is one thing. Now we have our camera targets. They're gonna be positioned in different places. So we have a camera that's right there. I'm gonna make a. In fact, we actually have all camera targets here. Perfect. So I can copy the transform for world transform, I guess. Or maybe just component. And then we're gonna go to general, we're gonna paste this here. Paste component. There we go. So now this should be in the same position as the camera. If this is affine, which is not affine. But now it's gonna be affine. Perfect. And now this should perfectly overlap. Nice. And then let's start setting like the shop, for example, to be like over here, a little bit closer. Let's see how that works. We might have to start just doing a basic rough draft of the environment just so we can actually see the camera move properly. But we'll just do that when we get there. Okay, and we have our home target, we have our play target, and we have our shop target. Cool, let's save it, and then we're gonna press play. Yeah, I'll be kind of nutty. I'll make my text-based 1D game playable. Let's go. We're gonna make it. Also, I realize right now that our buttons are not separated. You gotta separate these bad boys. We should also probably rename it as well. Okay. Do you think some of the Unity store models are worth the money? I don't think it's worth any of the money, but I'm more of a guy who likes bespoke things. But I know, there's stuff you could find on there that's pretty good. I know I've looked at I for sure when we were prototyping, I bought some stuff there a long time ago. And used it for some early prototypes before we went a different direction. But I mean, I think any asset source can have stuff that's good there. Nothing particular besides that comes to mind. Where's the view? Here's the view. I didn't assign the buttons, that's why. Here we go. We should probably need a go back button as well. Okay, there's the go back button. Perfect. What's up, Renee? Cozy, you streaming on Twitch? What's going on? Nah. Just 2 streams, horizontal and vertical. But it's good to see you, Renee. Hope all is well with you. Okay, now we have another null reference. And we didn't set the camera controller, that's why. Where is the main camera? Did we attach a camera controller to you? Yes, we did. Meaning that we can just probably go in here and select it from the scene. Perfect. Okay. Well, that starts that, but yeah, like darker and darker comes to mind. Gotcha. Yeah, like even for Crimson Crown early on, before we ended up going with a hand painted 2D, not 2D, but 3D environment, We got like a dungeon asset pack just to have something to test out the procedural dungeon generation, because I wanted to have a way of visually seeing where the entrances and exits were. And that was pretty fun to play around with. Where is... So, things went wrong here. A null reference in the camera controller. At what stage? Ah. Add single instance resource. That's the thing. Because we're not using that. Because we never register that. Because of course. Hell of a scene. What's up? Rax Monkey Wretch. Welcome back, dude. We're looking at your art, by the way. We're looking at your models, and I'm actually pretty... I had some thoughts early in the stream, but I'm very happy with it. Yeah, Star Wars painted backgrounds. Oh, that's a very different vibe. It's sick though. Yeah, the artist who did the Star Wars painted backgrounds, I think in the UK, also had okay, we have to recompile this because this is not doing the thing. What's going on, El Halvo? Also, what's up, 4745? I still don't know what you're working on. I'm sorry, man. We're gonna get there eventually. Or actually, we'll take a look right now. You'll take a look at the... Hey, and there we go. And then we go back. Yeah, I'm gonna rework the camera. I'm gonna make a whole new camera thing, I think. The lerp speed was way too fast. I think we're lerping way too quickly. Directional. Main camera. Yeah, let's change that bad boy to like a speed of like, I don't know, 10%. Or maybe 8%. Thank you, Arwa. I'm glad you dig it. Yeah, there's the garage. Why are we sliding out? Sweet. All right, so when we have the view of like the CRT and the garage there, we can actually... So let's actually look. Let's go to play. Oh. Ew. But yeah, I was like taking a look at your assets. It's pretty cool. Like I'm already seeing, I'm like, okay, possibilities. But yeah, like I mentioned at the top, feel free to go more ham with the instance of objects. Like, have more object instances. Just make sure that the individual objects themselves are low poly. And then any issues that may arise with performance, I'll just have to fix it to make it work. I'm also thinking about scale. I scaled this up. This is not the original scale you made. Yours is a bit smaller, which actually works fine. But I wanted to see how different proportions might look. I think if you want to make this feel like it's further away, we might have to add some, I mean, besides getting rid of the drop shadow from the player, we might have to make like a thing of high density, or maybe make the radius even bigger for the play area. Also, within here, we need to do something. I need to make sure that we go to garage on start. Is there a go home button? Yeah, there's a go back, but that's not the same. Whatever, close enough. We'll initialize with this. But yeah, dude, I'm very happy so far. Very, very happy what you got cooking. Dude, I was so confused now. Oh wow, what happened? By dual streaming. Yep, we got to. Do you have any tips for someone who wants to make a solo indie game but knows nothing about coding? Just gotta start, man. Start doing the thing. Start Googling, start trying to make the game happen. Everyone who knew nothing about coding, that's how they start, is just trying to do it. Like, pick a tool, pick a game engine, and then go off to the races. Watch tutorials if you need to. Or actually, you're gonna need to watch tutorials. Or read some documents online or what have you, but that's how you're gonna, that's how it's gonna look like. Konnichiwa. I'm not sure what that kanji means. Tsukane? Is that how you say it? Your name? Tsukane or re? I don't know. I'm trying. Gomenasai. I'm forgetting my harigana. Tsukade. Hey, thank you, hardworking black eye. Appreciate it, man. Hey, and we're starting at the right orientation. Perfect. And then we go back. Cool. But yeah, this works. This works out. But yeah, I'm digging this so far, and I think this scale might be fine. Once we start having more objects populate the environment, where are we going? Hi. I know that first character is Hito. This, I know the last part is des. That I don't know though. Bareback, EG Sports. We'll see you in a bit, man. Suggestions from me is to just start coding. I wouldn't set the abstract goal of having a full game completed because it can be a bit. Oh yeah, dude, making a game is so hard. But yeah, I cannot understand what you're saying. I can't understand Japanese, but Ohayo gozaimasu. That's what I know. That's all I know. But yeah, so we have, yeah, the scale, once we have more things in here, it's going to be better. So, okay, cool. We have our object visuals working. I think now we can start working on, in fact, we're going to add a view here, I think. We're going to add our shot view. And that's going to be where we're going to do our stuff. And then everything here that we implemented, all this, garbage. Get out of here. Garbage. Literally everything we wrote. Okay, maybe not the data. This gone. Everything else stays. Maybe this won't. We're just gonna get rid of everything. We're just gonna, no, maybe. Current open tab, that's gonna stay. Cache date state, that's gonna stay. List, that's gonna stay. Okay, maybe a lot of this is actually gonna stay. And then on build UI is gonna be a very different thing. Actually, a lot of this is probably gonna be very similar still. The only thing that's gonna be different is that each one is gonna have their own, probably int. Hull index, engine index. break index, something else. But 3D's fun. Okay, you know what? I'm on a mission to understand. One second. Tsukare. 1 second. We're gonna cross barriers today. This is what we're gonna do. Also, what's up, Can Tech Software? Welcome. Glad to have you. All right. I'm sorry. I apologize for causing you trouble. No, no trouble at all. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna swap it. I'm not sure if this is correct.
全く問題ありません。ご覧いただきありがとうございます。またのご利用をお待ちしております。
Hopefully this means what I means. Hopefully this means what it means. For the last few months, I'm in the middle of journeying JavaScript. Oh brother. JavaScript. I'm glad you're learning programming. I'm gonna focus on that. Ubuntu. I'm using Ubuntu. We had these. Oh yeah, chips. That's the other thing. The other category. Chip index. What do you have? Okay, what is this? This is what's gonna happen. Dude, are we gonna learn other languages incrementally? Did I close out of this? Maybe I did. I was looking at inspiration for Sky stuff. Okay, what does this say? I'm surprised you understand Japanese so well. No. Google. Google it. Very interesting play field. Reminds me of Inverse Sonic Map from Sega. Oh yeah, like it's very, it's like there's another game. This is based off on another game I did in a month, and I wanted to do an evolution upon it. So y'all can get a little more energy on this chat. Yeah, JavaScript that's wonky's one way to say it. Like, honestly, I feel like I feel like JavaScript is like what's so wrong about software development. Like it's like this like what's the word? It's like this poison, but you can't not take it because so much infrastructure is built upon it. And then it's like, okay, my anger is like directed at Microsoft and people who are in charge of things, not people who are learning it. So you're not in the crosshairs. But oh my, I have such strong feelings, and it gets like more and more each day. Ubuntu. Okay, cozy. Ubuntu. But want to learn Python and SQL? If that interests you, go for it. I think you learn better when you're doing something that interests you. And to Joe Rogan. I mean, as far as like programming is concerned, like I have my specific takes. I have my takes. And it's not like I'm crazy. It's reality. Like, okay, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this. Oh, so what's going on here? Okay, let's see what you said. Modern style translation, yeah. Yeah. Connecting the world. You know, I gotta say, like, I was just on the drive back from home, and I was like, on the drive back, I was thinking about how there's so much cool services and technology that we just take for granted. I was actually thinking about translation today specifically. Because I was like, if you were to tell someone 80 years, like from the 70s or 80s or 60s even, hey, we have this tool that lets you translate to any language, dude, their brain would be popping with so much possibilities. If you drop that technology onto them, that specific thing, like a box that can translate any language, even just text, people would go crazy. Just like, hey, I can have pen pals in different places. I can talk to people through mail or letters or whatever and make new connections I wouldn't have before. I'd be able to read books I've never been able to read before. But like, how much do we actually use? Like, we take it for granted because it's always available. So it's like, all right, our brain's imagination for how to use this crazy technology doesn't really go that. We don't really utilize it, right? Me included. I don't know, and I just wonder, like, how many other things that we have today that we just do we not like seize upon. All right, anyways, so let's look at the CRT thing, and we're gonna start with just UI buttons, but then we're gonna write our own UI button thing in a bit, so that I can actually, and in fact, we're gonna yoink some stuff from I think, from Messy Mansion. So I can go to, let's say, Cozy Cabin Games, Messy Mansion, assets, and then 3D meshes. What do we have here? There's the droplets gear, terminal. Here we go. Yoink. So we're gonna use this as a basis, and then we're gonna go from there. It's in projects. I need to move it into Cozy Cabin Games. In fact, we're gonna make this. No! Make dir mesh assets. Oh, and I lost it from my clipboard. Oh my goodness. How could I have done this? How could I have done this? Application. 3D meshes. Terminal. And then we're gonna go to projects. There we go. And then this is gonna import, and we should see the mesh objects appear. Perfect. And I can throw this in here, and this is like a terminal. A terminal I made for Messy Mansion, but we're gonna recycle it for this, because that's what frauds do. Nah. And we're gonna start thinking about how we're gonna lay out the UI for this. in a way where the bike is still visible in the background. We're gonna find out if this is a bad idea or not. This may be a bad idea. We're gonna find out though. I'm sorry, I believe I said create quad. There we go. It's gonna be something like this. I mean, the proportions for the house are gonna change, but I just want to get the foundations here for what this view is gonna look like. Like, keep in mind, we're dealing with a very vertical view, so we want to have like this screen be prominently placed, which means the bezels have to be small for us to be able to see the stuff. So let's actually do this. Let's move the camera in a way yeah. We're gonna have to make this, we're gonna have to do some magic here. Also, let me catch up in chat real quick. What'd you say? Tsukade? What Linux distro should I install on my 2016 MacBook Pro? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure how to. I feel cautious about recommending Linux distros for laptops because I installed CatchyOS on my laptop and that was a whole thing. That was a whole thing. Virtual hug. Arigatou gozaimasu. Tsukare. Much appreciate. How you translate it from English to English? Goofy. Much appreciated. Or much appreciated. There you go.
大変感謝しています。
The Fly Before Flight, he rises once more, Batman. Yeah, it's Unity. I know, I hate it. It's Unity is tragic, dude. I can't escape Unity. I can't escape Unity. I want to escape Unity. I can't escape Unity. It's like it's just like this tragic thing that just befalls me. We might have to. Oh, I really want to make this be diegetic. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna have to make it happen. I'm gonna have to make it happen. Also, let's do something here. A sprite. Thank you, Krupp Nico. Or Krupp Nick who? Yeah, crashes through drywall. Peace. I'm assuming you're heading out. You have a good one. What's your end goal? Just having a game. Okay, that's a very big general end goal. I want to have a CRT. In fact, we have this here. So we have Krita. So I want to have this kind of environment so that when you press shop, you zoom in and you see this view of the CRT and your little hole there. We're gonna have to. I'm using a CRT from another project, but it's becoming quite clear that we're gonna have to do some stuff to make this fit the way I have it in my mind's eye. Either some weird camera angles or something. But we're gonna have to do something about this. Oh no, we're decapitating Luna today. No, not Luna. But we have to have the bike by itself. I've been researching I've always been kind of into jet engines, but I've been thinking more about how they work and how that might translate to this, because the way I'm kind of imagining this is that this is locked into place by magnets, but the actual propulsion forward is through a jet engine. And if it's a jet engine, what kind of customizations would you even do? And then would any of those pro cons be worth it here? Because there's different types of like jet fan engines that exist with different pros and cons, like high bypass and low bypass. But I feel like a lot of the considerations between those general categories and the ratio for how much air gets bypassed is like it's a whole thing. But it's not only that, it's I'm not sure how much they're applicable in this kind of games context. Wait, what'd you say? Okay, 1 second. And Descendants. Thanks, Renee. Thanks, Terrell. Looks opaque to me. What looks opaque? Oh, 90s movie Hacker. Yeah, because that's kind of... I'm not saying that's what it is, but... Okay, 1 second. This is kind of fun, dude. I'm not going to lie. This is kind of fun. Doing this. Hey. Oh, I guess you're spawning somebody else. Wait. Oh, yeah, there's stuff here. One second. Now I want to snoop, dude. Wait, where's the thing? Did I lose my Google Translate? Oh, well. Let's be productive. Alright, so we have our bike. Which, by the way, we have to make some new designs for the holes. Also, I saw your message, Terrell. Let me catch your DM real quick. Increase scale of models up to building densities of pillars. Yes! That is everything. All that comes to mind right now. Thank you for following up, though. Okay, so we have this hole. We saved it as a PNG, not an ACE file. Come on, man. Come on, dog. And let's just go into here and throw that sprite on here. I am pretty sure I saved this as bike.png, but where did I save you? You are in the player folder, right? Yeah, you're in player. Bike.png. What's going on here? Yeah, there we go. Okay, and this is gonna be a resolution of scale of 1 factor 1. Cool, you're gonna be a unlit. Oh, that's so cool. I love it when this falls out the side. That's my favorite. Okay, we're just gonna use our own unlit thing because this just doesn't work. Okay, that's fine. It has a PS1 vertex snapping. We need to deal with that. Oh, well, I'm so used to this searching the entire project. Is that a setting then? Because I'm so used to this searching the entire project, not just the folder. Or maybe I'm just not used to search by type. I don't know. Anyways, so okay, we have this here. So now we have an actual view for what this may look like. Maybe you might have to Maybe it might have to be like a angled thing. Or no, maybe not. Because I want this to be visible, this and there. So if we look at this, the scale seems very off too. We should probably just like get this scaled appropriately. So that's where it exists. And this is where you live. Or actually, you know what? We should just make this a sprite. Yeah. Have this be subject to just the normal lighting we have going on here. And then have this also be a... Let's make this be a cozy service light. There we go. Yeah, normal effects things. Maybe I should have this be a side view thing. Maybe have this have more. And maybe not as big intensity. Either way, we'll deal with that later. Ooh, did I move the... I moved the thing! No! Dang it. Transform. Can I reset property? Reset. Rotation. Darn you, Jingleberg! Okay, whatever. Maybe if the model... Maybe I should just model one that's like closer to what I have in mind. Because this is not going to work the way I want it to anyways. But hey, we can use this as like a little test. Yeah. Okay, and then we look at the camera here. We might have to have a specific pose. Like maybe it's not enough to just be like this. Maybe we have to have like it rotated a little bit. In fact, let's move this. I don't know, down here, I guess. I guess we're gonna do this down here. Okay. I guess this is our life now. So we're gonna rotate this a little bit. Okay. I think we're cooking with something. I think we're cooking with gasoline. There we go. Actually, let's move this so the bike is actually nice and visible in view, and then we can move this as need be, so that it feels correct in the scene. Maybe move this to a scale where the player actually can work with it, but have this be up close and personal. And maybe you have to move the camera around a little bit. And that's okay, because cameras are meant to be moved anyways. And this is fine. And maybe move this a little bit to the side. Yeah, this might be the way. This might actually be the way, guys. And then this camera, we're gonna copy your component. Copy component. We're gonna go into the shop, paste component. Okay. Save, press play, and let's see how this looks. Okay, so we go to garage. Ooh. That's not good. Okay, so we have to change something here. The rotation is not coming through because we're not using yeah, we're doing this. But in reality, what we want to do is actually do this. In fact, we should use this everywhere. Nope. So here for open garage, we should use that. Let's check this out. Game Assassin, good to see you again. You have a good one, Ohalvo. Raw CSV library. That sounds like fun, dude. And not quite my tempo. Not quite my tempo. Re-import. Let's see if that changes anything. I'm pretty sure we pasted the correct thing here. The correct camera, copy, component, and we go to shop and we go paste component values, and they're the same. Okay, perfect. And this is fine, yes. So this should be correct. Make it fun, but my teacher is like the nemesis of fun. Oh, that sucks. Raw C. Yeah, I love Raw C, dude. I can't wait. Honestly, like my incentive to finish this game is that I get to go back and work on Raw C again and not have to I don't have to be subject to Unity anymore. It could be free. Dobby can be free. But alas, I am stuck here. I'm stuck here in C# land. See, this camera position looks good. And this transform seems to match this. So I'm wondering if there's something something wrong with the lerping maybe? Or it's not I don't know, like let's try 15. Yeah, like that doesn't feel like it's aligning correctly. I mean, it's aligning to this. That's not the thing. That's not what I signed up for. Let's verify this. I'm gonna copy this transform, copy component, and we're gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna paste the component values and see how much they deviate from one another. So between these two, actually, it's great that I copied the camera component because you're seeing the difference between them. As far as transform is concerned, though, okay, you need to stop. When I don't want you, you pop up, and when I do want you, you don't pop up. So the angle is off. So maybe the issue is actually not the position, but rather the angle. Because the positions are they're very close, and with lerping, it'll get there eventually. But no, one is like really off. Yeah, like very, very off. So I wonder how the rotational speed is being set. Like if I were to look at this, and we're setting this to lerp, meaning that on update, we set mode, set lerp mode, whatever. And then on awake, we have this. Late update. Actually, what happens here when it's static? It doesn't matter. You're in lerp, you're not going to do anything. So we have late update. We do the lerp follow. And then we have this whole thing going on here. What? That's for position. I don't know why we have this. I don't know why we have this offset on the Y, but okay, that's okay. Whatever. Transform rotation, quaternion lerp between rotation and the look rotation of look target versus transform.position. Okay. And this is a world space, so I don't see anything super wrong with this. We're doing a lerp. Maybe we should do a slurp, a spherical lerp. Because someone told you to do it. What's going on here? Have you made a money system yet? If so, how does it work? Like in terms of the game? Still working on that. I'm working on the faucet. Is it running right now? Wait, what? Oh, it didn't recompile, that's why. Re-import. My brain expands. Thanks, Tara. I appreciate it. Plug in the Discord for me, because I'm so bad at plugging it. Also, my bad on horizontal stream. My bad, guys. What's up, Kieran? Metillo, sorry, just woke up. It's good to see you, Kieran. Glad to have you here. And fun mix time. Can you edit the transition so it doesn't gradually slow down, but more slow down than 5 seconds slow down before it completely stops the camera? Can you edit the transition so it doesn't gradually slow down, but more a slow down to a stop before it completely stops? We'll see. Right now I'm not using any other easy functions. I kind of want to I mentioned at the top of the stream, I kind of want to have some ideas for different camera controls. But we're going to have to see. Yeah, this is wrong, though. This is wrong. I am 100% certain this is wrong. So even with this... So there's something about our look rotation that's just incorrect. I don't know why this always does that. I don't know why, like, you pop up for this camera, but not this camera. I don't understand it. Like, why? Why? But yeah, very wrong. Very wrong rotation. So I'm kind of curious why that's the case. This is a world space rotation, and we're leveraging between this rotation versus our quaternion look rotation from target minus final plus. Actually, why are we doing this position? Yeah, why are we doing that? Actually, now that I think about it, maybe that's just the issue. What about a derp? Yeah, Kieran's in the other chat, separated by the barrier of stream. It is what it is. before it stops. Yeah, that's kind of the symptom of lerp. You can change the percentage, the easing percentage, but yeah, I want to make this more generalized so you can work with like a. There we go. I mean, that's closer. I don't think it's actually correct either. I don't think that's correct either. But it's something different. But still not right. So now I paste these component values. Let's get rid of these guys and delete and delete. Yeah, they're substantially off. Rotation is wrong, actually. So look rotation, the look target. Look target, that's why we did this. It's a vector 3 position. So it's not a directional normal, it's oh. Now where is that being set though? What functions are we using? We have set targets, which is okay. So this sets the look target, but look target is just the position. I need to rework. I need to make a new camera controller that's just better than this in every single way, so we can support any type of easing function that our heart desires. Gosh, man. We got it. I want to do something better than this. Oh yeah, that's a thing fun mix. Actually, if you look at the original game, we have that going on. It's just a component. I have a component that just does that. Even in the main game, I want to do that. A little more about that or not. I mean, it's not a VR game. It's like I don't want to talk about it necessarily because I want to keep that stuff separate. But it's not games. It's like a more serious application. But yeah, it's not. But it's not games. It's nothing like that. It's cool stuff though. But yeah, that's the most I talk about it. Let's see here. So we have this position. And actually, let's look at the what API are we using to set the targets? Oh my goodness. This has to be position. Oh my I understand now. I understand what this is supposed to be. Oh my goodness. But I want to use a pose, not a target. Oh my goodness. So there's like so many. Okay. So we have to do things different. We have to make this use. Oh, but this is simple though, because we can just use this plus cam garage target transform forward. And that will give us our target position. And I believe that should work. Battle Ross, Metal Gear, Colonel. Snake can love bloom on the battlefield. There we go, and now this works, except for the PS1 shader dumb thing I have going on here. But hey, that's a thing. And then these UIs need to disappear as well. But yeah, then we can like display the UI here, and it's gonna look cool. Okay, I'm excited about this. I might try to push the camera further in, so that the UI is not gonna feel super cramped. But I think this achieves what I wanted to achieve. Why do I have on the cozy surface shader? Why do we have the PlayStation? We don't have the PlayStation effect going on. So why is this exhibiting weird business? Cozy surface. Yeah, what's going on here? Yeah, the PS1 shader, vertex shader is off. Not shader, yeah, shader. Function. The PS1 function is off, so why are we having this weird behavior at the edges when, that's like really weird looking. Yeah, you see that? Like, what is that? What is going on there? But the idea works, though. The idea works, so I'm happy with that. Not happy with this. I don't know what's going on there. Like, that's... I'm not doing any weird shader business here. What's going on? Are we doing something weird in the, Actually, I'm kind of curious now. Is it because of any weird properties we have going on here? Per pixel lighting, yeah. Disable cache shadows, no. There's nothing weird that we'd be doing with this, so... Yeah, I'm not sure what is the deal. I wanted something chocolatey. No, but I have woken up wanting a McGriddle from McDonald's. Yeah, I remember in college, I'd wake up like 4 a.m. And that's back when they had 24-hour breakfasts. So I think it's like, yeah, like I'd wake up like 2 a.m. Yeah, 2 a.m. That was the thing. So I'd wake up like 1 or 2 a.m. I would drive to, like I'd wake up like that Ren and Stimpy meme. You know that, let me see if I can find it. Come on. Yeah, like this. I'd wake up and I'd drive to McDonald's. I'd get a McGriddle with hash browns. I'd come back home. I would eat it and then fall back asleep. And like I did that all half asleep. I wasn't like fully conscious. I'd just go do that, and then I would wake up. And the only reason I know I went to McDonald's was the fact that there's wrappers in my bed when I woke up. It was nutty. But that was it. I had the cravings. I wanted the McGriddles, my bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles. You can't get between a man and his bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles. Okay, so we have this going for us now correctly, which is good. I want to change this. I'm just gonna, honestly, we're gonna. Okay, 1 second. So it's on the per pixel vertex pass. And are we doing anything weird here? Not that I know of. World position. We have world normal. Oh, maybe it's this. Oh, but we don't really need... Is that the issue? I'm using vertex normal instead of. Maybe that's it. I don't know. You should get like 2 more of the monitor and have a triple monitor. I would love to. Actually, it's funny that you say that because we're gonna move the camera real quick. We're gonna remove or mess up this perfect setup, but if you look over here, you're gonna see something very interesting. Do you see that? There's a 1 right there, 2 right there, and then 3 right there. Yeah, buddy. The 3 monitors. Well, when this one turns on, this one takes longer to turn on. Yeah, my computers aren't very happy. My monitors are not very happy when they're turned on, though. This one doesn't work. I have to get another coax cable to have something running on here, and it doesn't work either. But it turns on, which is pretty cool. But yeah, my computer starts flickering like crazy when I have all 3 of them on, so I try to refrain from harnessing all that power at once. It's a responsibility, really, but one I'm willing to take. Also, now I'm gonna have to struggle to find the right angle for this. There we go. There we go. Yeah, you threw those wrappers in my bed while sleeping, Mark. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I was like, oh, that's probably not good that I was driving that asleep. Like, the fact that I can't remember that I went to do that is kind of, that's kind of not great. So maybe we shouldn't have done that or done that in that way. I don't know. I'm probably going to write my own camera controller. I'm going to write a new camera controller because the one we have, I'm not happy with. Anyways, so cool. We have this. Now we have to start thinking about, wait, did I fix the problem? No, it didn't. The problem of the milty vertice is still there. Oh, man. What kind of video connection do you run from your PC? I don't. You can find Actually, I have what do I have actually? I have an HDMI cable that goes into a component converter, HDMI to component converter. And then from there, you can plug it directly into your CRT. But for me, I actually plug it into my DVR, my VHS DVR player, because it actually fixes some issue with some there's some leaking electrical signal that causes noise if I were to plug this in directly. So I plug it into that, and then I grab the output and pipe that into here, and it looks good and works well for the most part. And yeah, that's just how I do it. I'm not sure what is going on with the camera though. That's like this is like the one odd time where I'm like absolutely befuddled. Like absolutely befuddled by how and why this works the way it's worked. Oh wait, this is not a shader, it's a clipping distance thing. I'm just dumb, dude. I'm just dumb. The camera is so close we're getting into clipping distance. That's why it's doing that. I was like, is this a weird shader thing? Did I do something weird? No, I didn't do anything weird. That was just clipping. It was just clipping distance. The near plane was too near. We just have to change it to not be that. And we're gonna be good. There's some electrical signals. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now we're happy. Cool. And let's do some additional things, like for example, maybe these buttons should disappear once you enter a view, whether it be garage or play. So when you enter, for example, garage, and then same thing here, but now for garage button. And then we yoink these for when we go back. Okay, and it's going to compile hopefully, and then we're going to do the thing. Also, fun mix. Lighting, maybe any edge distortion that's active can also be something with the FOV being 180, so it makes a semicircle, so the edges warp into a semicircle. Huh. C# on Unity? Yeah, we're doing C# on Unity. Good old fashioned, not old fashioned. For right now, we're going to deal with Unity, and then we'll eventually be free, and I can go back to writing in my engine and see. I don't want to. Like, man, I really want to. I really want to go back to that. Good times. Actually, I want to go back to work on Riven done and get that done first, and then go on to the rework. Nice, and the UI goes away. Cool. And now I want to think about how we're going to be drawing this here. And there's some things I want to think about how we're going to be doing this. I have a CRT shader, so that's like one thing we can do. I need to model this out. And we're going to have to do like our own button thing, because I don't want to use just normal Unity buttons like these for the interactive interface. I want it to be, but then there's a thing about using sprites, because then you have to make it localizable, so I have to do my own sprite thing, which I kind of want to do anyways, but and there's the issue of real estate, because I want to make sure there's enough space to view everything comfortably. So, like, we can reduce the bevel. The bevel's like just kind of too big in general. So we can solve that screen real estate. We have to have, so like if we go back to our little drawing that we had here, like the basic layout is this. Like we want to have a buttons for up and down for selecting what you want to buy, or maybe I'll move this in here since screen real estate is actually more important. And then we can have like the whole engine chips and brakes thing buttons be present there. Maybe for now I'm just gonna display, I'll just display the canvas. I'll just use a 2D canvas for this stuff. Yeah, maybe I'll just do that. Just cop out for now, and then like later I can do my ideologically consistent rewrite of everything, so it can be in my way of doing things. But for now we'll just kind of keep this as is, and then let's do our shop, create empty, move this out here. Move this up. And then what are we going to do with the shop view? You're going to have a canvas, but it's going to be an in-world canvas. So we're going to create a 3D object. Actually, we're going to create a canvas. And that's how we're going to do things. UI canvas. You're going to be a world space object. you're gonna be using this camera, and yeah, that's just how the cookie's gonna crumble. And as far as position, it is all fine, baby. And then let's start just laying out the basic things. Oh, brother. I know there's some weird stuff that happens with this type of canvas that we've encountered in other builds. Hopefully we don't encounter it here. If we do, it's going to be annoying because unlike the other times, we can't just do a screen space thing. Or if we do a screen space thing, we have to have like the projection so we can have the conversion work the way we want to. And then we're going to add our buttons and stuff. So UI, create our buttons. Where's a button? Where's our button? There's our text mesh pro button, but UI. I'm not seeing this anywhere though. Like, where's the canvas? Or is it like on the big? Is it too big for us? No, that's dumb. Yeah, so you're all the way over there. And that's not where I need you. I need you to be over here. Master Shifu never taught us that. What happened? I mean, you refactor easily and stuff. Well, what's going on? I'm using Rider 0. Okay. So we have this going on. We made this very small. This canvas element. Yeah, position's like off. There's a big offset. There we go. And then we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do like 640. Yeah, 640 by 480. A proper real resolution. A real man's resolution. And we're gonna make this scale be really small. Maybe even smaller. Okay, so that's where the canvas is. And then button is being a button. Watch that new Emma Stone movie. What Emma Stone movie? What you talking about, Willis? All right. So, first of all, this is not conducive. This like little, yeah, we're not gonna. We need to have something that's actually much more, much more easier in our eyes. And you know, we're just gonna do the green CRT. That's what I had in mind, is like that Fallout looking CRT screen. So we're just gonna do that for right now, and then you could change it later, but I think this is fine. You're not green, but greenish. This a little bit darker. Okay, And then we can make this tile and have it use a brush. There we go. It's good enough for now. And then I'll do, what folder we need for this? I guess this can be like its own thing, like main menu or something, or home. .png. I think it's called Burgonia. Oh, Bugonia. I kind of want to make a flight sim in Java someday. You should do it. Sounds like a fun experience. T underscore. Here we go. Throw that bad boy there. Nope, come on. You can't do this to me. You can't do this to me. You know how much I've sacrificed. There we go. Not good, but whatever. It's fine for now. And we're going to change our shader. You're going to be an unlit shader. Oh. That's an unlit, apparently. Can you build off a transmedia Bible Matrix Avengers? What are you talking about? Wait. Okay, is that an ad? It looks like an ad. Thanks for doing that, dude. I appreciate it. That kind of caught me off guard. I was like, what? What is Buddy saying? Also, we're gonna yoink this light source and throw it here. And then we're gonna make this like green or something. And then have the radius or the intensity be much smaller, like 0.1, I think. Nothing crazy or big, just enough to like get some shine. Is this work correct? Pretty sure it should be correct. Feels like the point light is like not super correctly visible. Like there's some like weird offset. I don't know what's going on with this. Why it's behaving odd like that. As if like there's like some kind of cutoff. Or like it's directional or something. Yeah, maybe it's due to that line I changed over here, I think. Maybe this line was actually fine. Let me just recompile shaders. Yep, and that fixed it. That fixed it. Lighting's better now. And we can start building out the UI that's going to be in front of here now. Okay, so we are going to move the game canvas forward a little bit. And we still need to scale it because it doesn't quite fit how we want it to in the space of the game. We can keep scaling this down, but I don't think that's going to be our solution. I think we're going to have to take this canvas, take the parent, and maybe scale that guy down. Or actually do a combination of both, maybe. Actually, I prefer to scale down the canvas. Yeah, it's fine. We'll make it work. See, we're getting closer already. Just gotta ballpark it. That's what you do in technical fields. You ballpark until eventually it looks okay. Something like here, there we go. That's like looking like UI. Okay, I'm gonna Google this because I'm just curious, but I'm gonna Google this off the stream. Designing IP elements, rules and what? I mean, like, it's a framework. I mean, I'm probably not gonna do that though. A big thing for doing my game engine is I want to get away from like using libraries and frameworks in general. Like heck, even using, like I'm not using, like even for timers, I'm not using the abstractions for timers, but instead I'm actually using the OS specific calls for that. And then like, you know, if you're compiling for a different platform target, you just do the if def, you just do the different thing, you just, you know, use a different keyword. But I mean, there's so like it's cross-platform support for developing your thing is pretty easy nowadays because it's like there's so many different things that exist, tools, frameworks, that I'm like, I don't think that's like a big thing. But you're saying this is a framework, which I'm assuming is like a library that integrates into it, not like a resource you have to Google and assemble your own stuff. But yeah, building games for Linux is not really that crazy different from building Windows for like games for Windows. It really is not that different. So we're gonna do this one button. So yeah, we're gonna have a button. Let's actually start thinking about what we need in the code. So we're changing our shop view from what we had initially, and now we're going to do something very different. So we have these indices for the different parts. We have this list of buttons for the headers, which actually is correct. We need to have some new buttons as well. Public button, up arrow, button down arrow. For toggling between the objects you're iterating through. And then there's also a thing for TMP text. Yeah, text, which is going to be the item name. What are we going to do? Sprite. Right, texture 2D. Item icon. And then what else is needed within these quadrants? Oh yeah, we're gonna have a texture for this. Actually, what we really need is a material instance because we're gonna be passing in the data for these curves in there. So that's a separate thing, and then description as well. And then, yeah. It's gonna be material instance. Honestly, like, we're not even gonna do that. I could just make it a global shader or something. Shader value. Who cares? Because the values we're using that are not gonna be used anywhere else. I mean, we can get the material. Why not? That's not a big deal. C#. Thank you, Schreider. What's the deal with the old monitor? Yeah, I dig vintage. Yeah, purchase button. Oh yeah, good catch, Mark. Good catch. Yeah, purchase button or select button, because there might be a context where you're not purchasing, but you're actually selecting the current thing to have it on your bike. Thank you, Truth Seeker. Yeah, hydration, that's important. That's why I'm not drinking water. I'm drinking some mug root beer. Source generators too? What do you mean source generators? Typo found. Up arrow, down arrow, select buttons, and then we have our headers, which is gonna be the category selection. That's a better name for a category selection. And then we're gonna have these be item category. Yes, we're gonna have these be ordered. I want to make sure these have this correct index because I think we're gonna map these categories to these indices. So the indices for these lists, so they should be the same. They should be the same. Here are immaculate. Thank you, Split Specs. I'm glad you dig it. Also, concurrent viewers is 111. 111. That's a pretty sick number. 111. Link to the UI. Yep, I think so we have this. So this is the logic that we previously had. So we had this build UI thing, and current open tab is based off of the current open tab enum. Okay, and that's how we get the type of the object. And then from there we build an items list. And then from there, we have to populate things. We also have to have some bindings here. So, because now we're gonna have these different behaviors that are gonna happen. So void, let's say selection made. Move up. Move down. And then besides that, category change. Which is going to be executed by any of these guys, but we're going to be doing we're going to do this. So now that we have our headers, we can do a for loop on this, and for each header, we're going to index into it. We're going to do on click as observable, subscribe, and then add to game object. And then the thing we're subscribing here is on item. What did I call you? Category changed. And we're going to be passing in the index I. And this should actually be E item category. So this is going to be the selected category. Now there's going to be an error down here because now we have to cast from this integer into that enum, which is the desired goal here, E item category. Cool. And we're assuming that these categories align. So that's what I'm assuming. That's how it should behave. If it doesn't behave like that, that's my fault, and I should just get good. And let's also make sure I have things like something to indicate the ordering that I have here. Asset references. Okay, I'm gonna be jank, but like it's good. I think it's gonna work if I just manually say, hey, we're doing the order of whole. Maybe this engine brake and then chips, which you still haven't implemented a single one of these yet, but we'll get to it. Or maybe just break this into its own sub thing to be like, hey, dumb butt, remember. Actually, I'm probably gonna be asking for that, so it's gonna work out anyways. Cool, so we have our categories. Move this down here. And then anything else we need here? You can generate boilerplate classes and methods according to certain patterns using source generators. Oh, I don't use that though. I use it for like switch case statements and stuff like that, but I don't use it for anything else. They had a franchise? Yeah, we're on like I don't even know what C# version we're on right now. The new stuff has a bunch of cool features that we never get to use. It's tragic. But it is what it is. So this has the category. We're eventually going to change this to be like current open tab equals category. So I think there's some other things I'm probably going to have happen here, and then we're going to update build. We're going to call build UI with this new state in mind. And then move up and down is going to be our increments. Int low. And these are inclusive. So that once you do this and we go into build UI and we have this, then we can set lower. I mean, what, am I dumb? Like lower index is always gonna be 0. So this is gonna be upper index. Upper index is gonna be equal to items to build and count -1. Or I can just make this more descriptive and have it be like total count or item count. And just have this be inclusive. Thank you, Azriel. Glad you dig it, man. Maybe. Well, maybe to what? 4.8, quoting a 487 from 1990s? Nah. I mean, I'm not sure what a 486 is. The internal guts are modern. The peripherals are just what it's, the old. Under the hood, we're under the hood, we got a normal stuff. We got, oh, wait. I mean, let's just do H-top. But yeah, we got a decent CPU, and then we got a modern graphics card and stuff. Do I need to upgrade my CPU at some point? And add more RAM before the hypes, the hikes keep going on. The price hikes. Oh, it's 10 p.m. I'm glad you dig it, Vikiel. So we have these upper bounds. Okay, cool. Selection made. Move up. And in fact, we're gonna have like this selected object thing going on here. In fact, I should like really make this be. I mean, we have this abstraction we're using, but I don't know, maybe I'll just cache this instead of having it be disposed immediately. Items to build. In fact, this is not even a good name. We can just make this like items. Category items. Verbose, but more accurate. And then now this becomes and we don't need this property anymore because we cached it, so we can access it directly from here. And then we can do the selection mood or the move up and move down. So like based off of our current index. So I have these different indices in case you go between pages, your cursor stays where it was last left at. So I think it might be annoying having to start from the very beginning each and every single time. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. You asked me what I meant by source generator. Ah, gotcha. Okay, my bad, Renee. Actually, no, I do reuse source generator. Like I use it for the for loop stuff. Now that I think about it. Anything free to use to learn how to do this? I mean, the other free thing is just working on stuff. Like time in the saddle is how you get more experience with it. Unless you're talking about like the game, like what tools to use, that's a whole different rodeo. But I'm using Writer. Hull index. Okay, we have these different indices though, so we're gonna keep these tables going. In fact, you know what? Why have these indices when I can just make like an array? This is kind of dumb, but at the same time, I kind of want to do it because you're already using the array indices for the enum indices to index for these. So like, why not just commit and make these just indices Like, it literally makes things easier. Because then I don't have to be mindful of like, oh, am I using this or that or whatever, and try to. I could just do the thing. I can just do some little simple math and index directly into the thing, and it just works. And life is good, and we're happy. How many things I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So index size 4. When I go back to see, it's gonna be so weird because the way you define arrays are like different there. Okay, but yeah, we're gonna do that actually. Because then, like, selection mode or on move up, we can do indices, and then we're gonna do current open tab. Yeah, current open tab as an int plus plus, and then like, oh, do I have a math f wrap? Yeah, I have a wrap function, so we can. That's gonna handle the things you want to do. We're like, let's see, what did I do here? Do I not have documentation for this? Index value min max. Okay, perfect. So our value is going to be we're going to do this. Okay, and then we're going to do indices, index. Heck, we can be even more terse because we know what we're dealing with in this context. Wrap, and it's going to be. I mean, honestly, do I need to? I could just do a ternary. Like, we don't have to do this whole math function. We could just do. We could just keep it simple, man. Like, we don't have to do this business. We could just do indices equals plus plus, and then like indices is equal to. I mean, that'd be crazy if it was greater than, but it should just be if it's equal to, and then we have current tab, open tab, count. I think I call the category items.count. Then we set it to 0, otherwise indices. Oh my goodness, what happened? There we go. Stop formatting my stuff. I know what I'm about, dude. I know who I am. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. And it's just gonna be the same thing here. And this time if it's like less than 0, we do this. So if it's less than 0, we make it category items.count -1. And then categories, the value is greater than count. We can just do that. It's probably a faster way to do that. Also, wrong thing. Also, I realize if we're going down, we're actually increasing index. So we should actually move this around. This should be over here. You should be over here. Life is going to be harmonious. And then at the very beginning, we can do our awake method. Now for like up arrow on click as observable, and then we can just do move up, add to game object, and then we can copy this. And now it's going to move down. And that's, now we can navigate. We're going to navigate correctly, and then we're going to rebuild UI. Or actually, we just have to redraw, really. We have to have a function just to update display. Yeah, because like this, honestly, is only pertinent to changing categories. But the updating display thing is going to happen more frequently. We don't need to iterate through all this other stuff. So we can rename this to like change category or something, because that's more descriptive of what it does. Also, let me catch up in the chat real quick, guys. Cozy Cabin recommended one to me a long time ago, so I did not remember. He's programming the inner workings of a shop upgrade system. Thank you, dude. Chamirka, it's good to see you. Welcome. See, crush him. So much going on, I'm confused already. It's alright, man. We're here to be confused. Until eventually something works, maybe? We'll see, though. Not a jive turkey. Not a jive turkey. Yeah, we're building a shop UI right now. Or just like a basic like shop / loadout customization thing. I think it very much will, Azriel. It very much will. Yeah, so there's gonna be some changes to vehicle appearance as well. That's gonna be a whole thing, though. There's like I still have to. That's like a whole. Like I have the infrastructure to support that data. I just haven't built out the front view representation of that. But that is gonna be a thing that we have to signal to the application to do, or maybe we even have this have a reference directly to the vehicle, so we can she can show like the changes to the hull or changes to the engine or brakes or chips. Well, maybe the chips might be the one thing that isn't visually shown, but I don't know. I feel like we make it happen at some level. Yeah, I'm using Idea Vim. Python, I use Python a little bit, but not for anything significant. The last time I used it was for like my engine project, and it was to like generate C++ code. It's like, what's my job? Python, your job is to write code, C++ code for me, or generate C++ code for me. Oh God, I'm just telling this language to make another language. Thank you, Vikiel. But yeah, that's gonna be a whole thing. In fact, we should probably add a header here preemptively over bike representation. To eventually deal with that. These may not be relevant ever. The raw image and item container, because now we have these Well, we can like have different categories. These are like the buttons. These are like the actual things that are going to be representing stuff in the front. We don't need references to these because we're not updating the hierarchy at all. We're not. The preview image is no longer what it is, but instead it's going to be done here by the item icon. So I think we should be all hunky-dory there. Now I might have to do things a little bit differently because now we're doing the CRT thing. I might have to like have stuff drawn a little bit differently, but we'll deal with that when we get to there. Move down, move up. We have a function now for update display. That should happen here as well. And then it updates display. What is this? Item states. What is the item type we're looking for? Item state, there we go. Or current item is going to be equal to category items selected by current items, and then the index, which is going to be, we're going to be indexing into an index into wait, so we have indices, which again is going to be current item cast to an int. That's gnarly. Why are you unhappy? Let me do the ugly thing. Let me do the ugly thing. It's fun. Cannot apply indexing to representation of item. Oh, wait. Current category items. There we go. There we go. So you have to index into an index into an index into an index of an index. Nested indexing, that's fun. And then, so now we have this, and then we can set some basic things like name. It's like 10:17. I don't want to break my sleep schedule. I just fixed it. Nope. And it's gonna be, there should be a name property on you. Yeah, there we go. And then there's description, which honestly I might make that like a generated thing per type. We'll figure it out. I cast array index out of range. Nah, no port, no Stack Overflow. It's gonna work perfectly the first time. Timirka, remember my idea of typed graph format? Well, I fell into a rabbit hole of math type theories, and at this point I'm a bit lost. However, it has cool concepts. Yeah, it's been a while since I've heard you talk about that, actually. Yeah, because last time we were talking about, well, I think you mentioned the abstract syntax tree, and I was talking about some applications for like modeling graph nodes, hierarchies, and not only modeling it but also like serializing it. I think that's the big thing. Is I was like stuck with, not stuck, but I was just lamenting the fact that the way I had it implemented was very not efficient as far as data serialization is concerned. But I mean, partially because I just threw it into JSON, but whatever. You get the idea. Okay, we have to determine the type as well. because we're gonna have a special representation for the engine because it's gonna have the performance graph. So we're gonna do current open tab, and then it's gonna be everything's gonna be like the same. We're gonna have a default means of rendering stuff, but then we're gonna have this particular way of rendering things for the engine. It's gonna have its own special little thing. C#, yup, Gilson. I'm making a shop system right now, or at least implementing the front end of it in the game. Also, what's going on? Bulletproof and Tuntaroy. Glad to have you guys. Rip Nate Dogg. What happened to Nate Dogg? Then the gun and cause a conundrum. Oh wait, what happened, Mark? Wait, what happened? I didn't see a conundrum happen. Yeah, I didn't see nothing. Also, I'm sorry for horizontal stream people. My bad, Raymond. Of course, I've already asked, but I don't know what the game's about. Yeah, it's a racing game. You can think about it like that. 2.5D racing game, and I'm doing the shop stuff right now. That is where we're at currently. And we're just dealing with some rendering business. The basic stuff. Item name, item icon. Okay, there's like in-game sprite. There's menu icon, there we go. Expecting a texture 2D, but you are a texture 2D as well. This is a get only. It is a get only. Sprites, you kill me. Every single time you kill me. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. You're tearing me apart. I forgot how you do this. Or I guess we have to make this be an actual, or you know what? I could say screw it, and this is no longer a sprite. We're just gonna use a raw texture, raw image. No fancy business. But you're still mad at me. Yeah, okay, perfect. Now I can just assign it. Nice. So we have, yeah, we have almost everything. The description, we're gonna make a function for formatting descriptions, so that's gonna be a different thing. In fact, maybe we'll do that here, actually. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Or maybe make it part of the classes themselves, but. Do you need graphs restoring like within a save system? No, it's for I mean, it's no longer relevant. I'll say this because it's already been done. It's been done did. And that was like relevant to a day job thing, day job problem. But it's already done, shipped. And now, like in a subsequent version, I'd like to revise it in some means. But I think requirements are not going to permit me to be. I would like to rework it so that it can be serialized in a very lean fashion, but it's not that big of a deal because it's actually not that much data. But still, it'll be nicer to have just the general idea of how to serialize that graph data in a better way. I mean, the way you can always do it is like Like, you can do that thing where you pack things into arrays and do it that way, and then have like a table for like the way I always think about it, Tamerica, or I think about how to do it. It's kind of the same way you do things like a packed BVH tree or something, right? Where like, sure, you'd have a tree structure, you know, each with their own IDs or something. Okay, let's try to, can I do this better? It doesn't help that my keyboard isn't labeled correctly. There we go. Okay. There we go. Well, now the way you do, this is the way I think about it, right? Or the way I can think about it right now. If I were to try attempt doing this, like you'd have like a tree, like a structure like this, and maybe it's mapped out in memory like that. But alternatively, you can have like each one have like, if it's like a linked list or a singly linked tree where these are, where this is like pointing to the child element. And instead of having like it be a pointer to a memory in RAM, you can instead have this be indexed into a known table. So you have like a table with the elements in ordered in any kind of way, where like 1, 2, 0, whatever. It's arbitrary, so you're not going to associate always 1 to 1. Maybe this might be ID like 0, 0, 0, 1, 0 something, and then it's like, you get the idea. Like, this is arbitrary. But yeah, instead of using pointers, you just have like this, have them hold indices so that everything is packed in a very contiguous means. That's like one way I could think about doing it, where you just basically have like reference tables, and instead of using pointers, you just use indices for managing your relationship between graph nodes. But refreshing rate, thank you, man. No, but refreshing rate. What, for you guys or for me? Feels pretty fine for me. Your typing sounds like a Pit Boy. What's up, Renee? Are you switched back, Renee? Just joined what genre of this game? If I had to guess, it seems like platformer, at least. No, not a platformer. We can just go into the game. If it compiles, because I've done a lot of weird things. Not weird things. I've done a lot of things. We can take a look at the game right now. Okay, here we go. Hey, the UI is actually UIing. Anyways, but this is what the game actually looks like. So it's like a side-scrolling, side-scrolling kind of racing game where you're trying to get a certain time. That's like the general idea of it. I gotta say, even though these are like the error materials, it looks kind of cool actually, in a weird way. But yeah, it's like the game, and we're adding a whole system for customizing your engine brakes, because there's like a very specific, like, as you notice, you have brakes and they wear out with time. So the more you extremely brake, the more they get fade out. And now if I try braking, it's just super slow. So purchasing things is how you kind of upgrade the stuff. Yeah, but the question is it a dynamic graph? For dynamic, a data implementation can be more complex. So when you say a dynamic graph, are you talking about the dynamic in terms of the data it holds internally? like each node has a different amount of data they can encode. Because in which case that array thing wouldn't work because the data would not be like determined. Like it wouldn't be guaranteed to be the same size for each slot, right? Because you're not sure what it would be. Like you end up with like maybe like an array of like lists or something like that, but then it becomes very not deterministic in how you serialize that. I mean, you could, make some way of forcing it to just serialize it like a JSON format, but then you kind of end up with that same issue of just non-deterministic. Like we are currently transforming it like it depends or delete nodes. Oh, appending and deleting nodes? I mean, you can do that with that kind of format. You can definitely do that. The only thing is that with a fixed array, it's going to be, you have to keep track of like dead cells. Actually, now that I think about it, it is going to be weird though to kind of, like the easiest thing would be rebuilding, but then rebuilding's kind of is costly, right? Repairing things that have been removed, there might be some ambiguity there, because in like, yeah. Well, you can do that. I mean, it's just different trade-offs in terms of computation then. Because then, like, you have to like iterate through all the different types, all the different nodes that have references to that dead indice, which not great, but I actually don't know what the time complexity of that would look like. With the indexed array, you can't do it easily. Imagine deleting in the middle. Well, you can. You just have a bit mask, right? But then the issue is like, how do you deal with the other things? But then that sucks too, because then you end up having to have a separate array. I mean, it's an array of Boolean values, but that's still annoying. I don't know. Then again, I'm just talking about like at a high level. I imagine the more you try implementing it, the more things crop up. Need to iterate without holes. Interesting. Oh, what's going on, Winged Katsune? 1 and 2, compiling, letting you know for anything. Looks cool for a special stage in a game. Oh yeah, which reminds you of a lot of special stages. Yeah, Sonic 2 and 3, yeah. How they work in the official read by Sonic Retro disassemblies. Gotcha. Interdasting. What is that word? Interdasting. Also, what's going on here? Also, welcome, Don. Thanks for joining the Discord. Glad to have you here. But yeah, so like, what are we doing here? Okay, so we implemented a lot of stuff. I think it's time to start actually building out some of this UI here, because I've been slacking. Now we're actually gonna do the thing. But in this case, I'm actually kind of cool with this, because it's actually not annoying. I gotta say, Tamerka, I'm actually, like, now that you brought this up, I kind of want to play around with this. Like, I'll try, because I'm just talking out my butt, right? Like, in terms of how I'd think about it, but it's not the same thing as actually trying to implement it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm missing some stuff. And they have to have our category arrays. And that's going to be a whole thing over here. And then we have to call this. Let's see if it fits our text well. Come on, expand with. There we go. Thank you, Blues World. Not to get too off topic, but I will say assembly x86 is horrible. 68K though, beautiful. Wait, what do you mean 68K? Been dealing with the flu and haven't touched any projects in a week. I haven't been this sick in a long time. I'm sorry to hear that, Royalt. That sucks, dude. Yeah, and being sick, especially when you want to work on projects, is terrible. It's actually frustrating because it's like, I have, like for me, when that happens, like I have the vision in my brain of what could exist right now if I weren't sick, but I have been held back. I have been lay wasted. Okay, let me just go here. Engine. Here we go. It's terrible. Hopefully you get better, man. Hopefully you get through it ASAP and you can get back to the work that you enjoy doing. Engine. No E at the end. Engine. And brakes. So, yeah, brake and then chips. Are we gonna have space for the other thing? We might have to like do like a jank like placement of objects. Or maybe I can just do like a 3-letter abbreviation. I really want to do like a 8 segment display or 9 segment display thing for this. Each instruction tells you what it does, essentially bar from a few exceptions. Oh, Motorola 68K assembly. That is new for me. Dude, the only assembly I know about is like either x86, what's the other one? RISC V. And then what? ARM. Which again is not the... That's the only thing I know I'm aware of, and I haven't even looked at it. And I hear of cool things that x86 has, like its whole AVX stuff, but I haven't gone to it yet. Haven't tried it out yet. But that's interesting that you've gone like not that you've gone through that, but the fact that you actually have opinions about and preferences between assemblies. Because for me, I'm like, I have no experience with this, right? So I'm just gonna pick up x86 and it's gonna be like, all right, I guess this is how it is. I mean, I have no expectations for this, so I guess this is what it is. I don't know any better. But you have seen a promised land. At least that's what I'm assuming, the way you're describing it. The doc said you'll be fine. Let's go. Glad to hear that. Just gotta take your zinc. I mean, I'm not sure what you're cold with or sick with. I know I make sure to take my zinc when I get like a flu or something or a cold. It helps you get past it quicker, from my understanding. Though again, not a doctor. cannot give medical advice. I'm just a dude on the internet using a CRT. There's nothing special about me. Nothing qualified to speak about this. Where's the shop view? Oh, I didn't attach the component onto there. I should have did that. Here we go. Down arrow. Oh, I didn't add a select button, did I? 3, 4. Hull. Engine. Brake. And chips. ARM is similar to 68K except evolved compatibility wise and more verbose. You give it a peek when you have this free time, you'll understand once you see some code. Okay, I'll have to take a look at some point. I'd have to cross that bridge at some point, little by little. I just don't do enough high performance things to like force me to actually look at the assembly to see if certain instructions are being used or not. Okay, we have this here. Now we have to also okay, we have to organize this. So we're gonna create some empties here. So cats is gonna be the categories. We're moving those bad boys here. And then create empty. Controls, we're gonna move the up, down. And you know what, we're gonna have to add the selection button in there too. The base of the problem is if we don't have named nodes, so their ID equals index, then if we decide to remove one in the middle, we would need to decrement all edge points nodes of bigger numbers. So if we don't have named nodes. So what do you mean by named nodes? Because like in the, I think I got rid of it. And the example I was bringing up here. Are you talking about in the way you access them? In fact, let's just do this here. So I want to understand a little bit better. Because the example I was talking about was like, I used this to illustrate it. Of like, hey, maybe this is 0. And this is like, stop, you're driving me crazy. 1. So that kind of coincidentally just kind of works with indices almost, except if they're ordered incorrectly. But then like what, like these are, if these were all the elements that exist, then like the value, like pointing from 0 to 1 would be, like node 0 would have a value, have to have a value of index 2, element ID, and then, I mean these would be like, let's say negative values, right? 2, and then, so when you say named nodes, you're talking about not accessing them by using their indices? Is that what you mean? There's a point, yeah, there's a point in using dictionary plus a vec. But together we'll, that's how some popular games are born. Yeah. I mean, that's true if you work with other people. I am solo to... Actually, no. We got our boy Terrell in here. Got my boy Terrell. The asset, the modeling king. No, I meant by that I was meaning as far as medical advice goes. So when you say ID, you're talking about changing instead of accessing it directly through indices, but instead you're talking about using this as a key value and then looking up that way. Okay. Okay, now that I have a better understanding of that. Okay, so we have this. Let's pass in more references. You select view. Up, down, select hull, engine, brake, chips. Let's see here. I'm kind of curious though. Where are you looking at? Like, what specifically is driving you through this this node graph theory stuff, Tamerka? Or at least like what needs are kind of guiding you in terms of your decisions for this. Is this like, or I guess a better question, is there like an engineering problem you're trying to solve by diving into this, or is this much more like a interest in the theory and understanding the domain of this knowledge? Item icon. That's okay. So we need to start laying this out too. So we have our categories, we have our contents, and now we have to start making our actual view. So we need to have a raw image, and that's gonna be the icon here. Okay, and then we're gonna have to add our UI and our text mesh pro. Ugh, gross. Ugh. Okay. One day we'll do our sprite-based render. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen soon. Okay, and then we'll make this a little bit bigger. Alright, this is actually fine. And then another thing for description. Like stats and things of that kind of nature. And then I guess another raw image. But this is gonna be like this is a weird thing, because this is gonna exist purely for drawing the animation curve, the hermetic curve. I don't remember the name. I think it's hermetic curve, Bezier curve function that is going to be used for illustrating our acceleration profile. Or heck, like why do we need no, for the engine. This is for the engine. This is for the engine. We also have to have a thing that indicates the category you're currently in. Call it graph. This has a thing for shaders, right? Yeah, material. We can work with that. And then this is going to be description. This is going to be name, and this is going to be icon. Cool. Technically, yes, my diploma on network simulation program. Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll say, though, so far this game reminds me of Super Motherload by XGen Studios. What's Super Motherload? I should probably look at that. Super Motherload? Huh. I'm curious about this. This screen reminiscent of upgrading purchase screen. Actually, no, not really. It's not necessary. I just found an interesting niche where several concepts meet. Also, I'm Algo Math Fun. That's cool though, dude. That's cool. In fact, those kind of rabbit holes are like what, you know, sets you apart from people and just, I don't know. That's the cool thing. Okay, I should probably assign stuff here. Yeah, there's a lot that we haven't. Actually, we assigned things, but they're not publicly accessible, so I can't. So, like, okay, so these, for example, shop view. Yeah, these should probably be. No, these are fine, actually. Wait, what? Wait. Item name. There's description. And then I guess we're still gonna have this raw image. Yeah, we still need to have references to these things. Okay. Have you played it before? No, I never played it, but I should probably give it a try sometime. Come on. Why is this not working? Why is this not working, dog? Oh, does it need to compile? Is it not recompiling the domain? Yeah, there we go. Complete the domain. I gotta say, that's the one thing that's weird about Linux. For some reason, Unity kind of lags on recompiling the domain, or recompleting the domain. I don't know why it does that, but it just does that. Okay, so we have our headers, we have our up, down, select button, perfect. Our view things are still missing though. Okay, now they're there, cool. So now we can set item icon, we can set item name, we can set item description, graph. Cool, so now there should be actual references to these guys, perfect. Okay. And now if we press play and see let's see what's going on. Are we doing math? Sadly not today. Today we're doing the thing I didn't want to do, which is a UI. Which is tragic. You hate to see it. You hate to have to do UI, you know? i3 desktop, yep, Slovak SPI. I tried my best, man. I tried my best. Until I noticed that you work on this PC. Yeah, I work on it. This is my real thing. I work with this. Even off stream, I use this PC. It's fun. Slovak SPI. There we go. Thank you. I appreciate the patience. Okay. I should really have this be a child of the actual game object so it can move in uniform, but we'll see. Arch, sadly not. It's Ubuntu. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Are we doing the thing I didn't want to do, which is It's Ubuntu. I have Catchy OS on my laptop, but it's not working. It's working except for the audio drivers, but it's just not. They just don't work. The audio drivers just don't be working. Oh, you know what? No, this should work on Awake. Oh, 1 second. I haven't bind. Wait, did I bind everything? Click as observable. Subscribe. These categories changed. We cast the index. Yeah. We bind this. Okay. If we subscribe, then move up, move down. We should also subscribe the select button. Not select button. Where is it? There's a selection made function. For it's 10:55. I should probably sleep at some point. Probably should sleep. I don't want to break my sleep schedule again. What is a tab? That tab system, brother? Marco Vasev. It is i3. i3 is how I tab around through Windows. It's great on Linux. That's alright, Joseph. This is my life decision. I've made it. I wouldn't recommend, simply because it comes heavy by default. Yeah, no, it's not. And then it's like there's a whole thing of like the telemetry that it does, which isn't great. Not telemetry necessarily just for the sake of catching bugs and stuff like that, but also telemetry used for like ads and whatnot. It's not great. Like I don't like. I left Windows for that. For a bunch of reasons, but that's also a secondary reason as to it. But I don't know. Aside from that, though, it's still pretty good. But I'm thinking about switching over to Arch. It's just, the thing is, like, I know when I do that, I'm gonna be out of commission for a while to get this bad boy set up. I'm gonna be gone for a while. Just getting Arch back and getting my configurations and everything back to where they're supposed to be. Get rested. Yeah, I think I should probably call it before it gets too late. It sucks to kind of burn a day on this, and have it not be there yet. But I guess that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles, right? I mean, let me find. Do we? Like, I feel like we do something here. Do we never load? Categories, cache state, item state. Oh, you know what? We don't, we never load the current state of things. Oh. I think we deleted that code by accident. 1 second, let me go to... Let's look at the diff real quick. Let's look at the diff. I should just find the file. You know what? We're just gonna do that. Git. Where is it? Shop. Is it a root level thing? Shop. Yeah, it's shop / Okay, let's see here. What logic did I delete that's actually kind of pertinent to what I'm trying to do here? Okay, item build. Yeah, no, that's not relevant. Let's go back up. Maybe I didn't delete anything. Maybe I never loaded this stuff from project resources. Not project resources, but from resources. And therefore we never get the cache state. So what does that mean? That means shop data get state. We have to do cached. And then we have to listen for changes as well, but okay, let's just see if this works. What I was researching type theory that is what led to my math computer proof programs and my compile time type checkers. It's cool stuff. Reason for Mint is Ubuntu forcing snaps. I mean, if you try to install a deb package, oh yeah, it's so annoying, dude. It's really like the fact that it's easier to just go on to like an Arch and use our and then build your own package. Like the fact that that process is actually kind of easier than having to force that to happen. Like I still can't get DaVinci Resolve to run. I still can't get that to run. It's crazy. Yeah, this is not doing the thing I want it to. Which is, well, that's something. That grinds my gears. No, that's the plan, syshalt. We're just getting this running right now. We just need to make it exist, and then we're gonna make it good later. We're gonna make it exist, and then we'll make it good later. But that is the idea. That is the desire. And then get state. This is not working as I want it to. List item states, data states. Why is this not working as I intended it to? Why aren't you working? Application. Is it perchance? Is it perchance? No. Is it perchance the application? Is the shop available here? Add game data, shop data. Yeah, we instantiate the shop data here. We pass it into there. Module, pause module, time dilation, object pool. Yeah, we build the thing. Perchance. Unless. Nope. They should still exist. Okay. So now our application structure seems correct to me. Which means, I don't know. Oh, we'll figure it out later. Yo, and actually not brain rot YouTube live. Let's go. Yes, brother. Welcome to the not YouTube brain rot stream. Basically computer verified proofs which are only possible by type checkers. Interesting. Their models as a FNF point and click. Yeah. I'm gonna make like so the idea is that once we get this working and validate that everything works as intended, I'm gonna replace all the buttons, the 2D UI buttons, with my own. I'm gonna write my own like button object that will That's going to be tied to 3D objects, and it will be raycast tested. And we can make it animate and do things based off of that. And it'll be cool. It's going to be rad. It's going to be so freaking cool. It's going to be so cool. But I want to make this I want to make sure this works with known variables such as Unity's UI toolkit or Unity's UI elements. And then once we know it works with those elements and we eliminate those from being a potential cause of problems in the future, then we start swapping in our own cool button component. That's going to be super rad and sick, and the whole plane is going to clap upon landing. But yeah, do I have an update display thing? I never press update display, but even then, updating category, does update categories act? No, it builds UI. It does build you. No, that's a misnomer. It should be change category and then display. Oh my goodness, maybe that's what was going on. Update display. Maybe that was it. Maybe everything's actually fine and dandy in the world and I just forgot to call a function, and then once I do that, life is going to be happy once more and I can rest easily, and then I can call it a night soon. Let's see. Let's run it. Let's hope we don't get... Okay, so UI pops up here, and then we change categories, and no, I'm still sad and depressed, and life has lost its luster, and I want to go cry in my bed, listen to some Maroon 5 or something, or the Carpenters. What's up, G Dolo? I didn't see you. What's going? Oh, you just came in right now. Morgan was here earlier, and then our boy Terrell tapped in. But I know. The question was, what's the most basic thing which is also powerful and consistent? Okay, that led me to math theories. Sick. I've been trying to be good about getting stuff before polishing GUI. It's hard to resist. Yeah, honestly, Royal, I struggle with that. This whole project in 3 weeks has been a test of me just focusing on implementing the things first before trying to make... I usually love making things look pretty and cool first, and then we do the architecture stuff. Not architecture, but just the infrastructure building. But I've been fighting it. My will's been strong. I want to treat myself to just implementing something, like doing some polishing and stuff, but it's not in the cards for us yet. Not yet. We're gonna get there. I'm your mod your uncle tells you not to worry about. That feels so weird. I feel uncomfortable, dude. I feel scared. Aunt Maud. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for hanging out with me, for accompanying me as I wrestle with UI and getting things to work. Not perfect, but we're getting there little by little. But yeah, thank you again for hanging out. Of course, at the Discord, if you guys want to join, get some updates, ask questions about game development and all that kind of stuff. There's people who are very knowledgeable in there. Super duper people who've taught me most of what I know, actually, or a lot of what I know at the very least. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. God bless, and until next time, y'all, stay cozy. Till then, ta-ta.